This is the worst team gamer 2v2 tournament featuring Beasty, Core, Jigly, and Gento. Gento, I'm actually really not sure what we call him other than Gento. But it's featuring the 4 players where they each take turns playing with each other. And they do play all 3 series. So we're going to have 9 games regardless, and then the player who wins the most games is going to be our champion. Last time they did this a couple months ago in January. Same 4 players. Beasty took it out in first place, Jigly second, and then tied for third was Core and Gento. So the first matchup we've got in the yellow and the orange in the top right, it's Beasty on Sengoku and Core on Gento. And then in the south, in the bottom left, we've got Gento on the Macedonian in blue, and Jigly in his classic green playing the French. So, I mean, like 4 pretty absolutely top civs to start with, and especially on a very open dry Arabia. Nothing unexpected, and pretty straight up sort of civs to get into game 1 out of our 9 it's going to be. I think Sengoku is probably still very much like it is in 1s, and I know everyone's sort of complaining about it, seen as the strongest civ at the minute. Sorry for the mic adjustment there. But Macedonian, French, Jeanne d'Arc, all obviously huge team game civs as well. And Sengoku does still have that power, whether it be 2s, 3s, 4s, or of course 1v1s. So coming out the gates, we've got Beasty on Sengoku going for their Oaken, towering up with 2 on his gold. So looking to go, and nothing on wood, looking to go straight to Castle Age, presumably for those lovely mounted samurai. Core doing the French thing and doubling down on the knights and playing the feudal age. And we see we've got a few on the field already. It gets a little bit more interesting out on Gento and Jigly's side, because we've got the Hippodrome and Horseman coming out from Gento. Just a couple, as we see. He's going to look to rush castle as well. And then Jigly mirroring as best you can the Jeanne d'Arc as French. Or vice versa, with the essentially 2 stables, knight play, and feudal age. So this is the most standard. This is going to be the most standard 2v2 game I could possibly imagine seeing at this stage. One player plays knights and plays the feudal age, and the other one goes as greedily up to castle for that power spike as they can. And in this case, it's Sengoku and the mounted samurai, and Macedonian and their lovely Radari. So as much as we have 4 different civs, it's very much mirrored games. The hardest thing to tell in these team game UIs, by the way, is to see when there is a lot of damage done. No Vil picked up there. And we've got JD on the field, which does obviously add some extra complexity here. Generally, French is considered stronger in these situations, until, of course, JD can get level 3. Because the extra eco means that you do get the greater knight count, and the greater knight count is a little bit of lack of micro there from Core to lose that knight. Definitely don't want to be doing that. And I think no, with 5 Vils here, we've lost nothing. And the other side of the map, I'm sure there's literally nothing going on. In fact, the champions from Gento coming out and just literally scouting, but hardly champion scouting. Oh, and actually Gento might pick up. No, not quite. And that probably will get away. So the only real action going on at the minute is the knight v knight fight. But it doesn't really look like either is able to get much damage down. And then we see both Castle Ages coming up around the same time. Gento using Golden Horn to go secure a lot of resources actually. Big gold, little gold, deer, and berries. That's pretty good. You can't ask for too much more. And of course, sort of the relics are on that side as well. 6 villages coming out here for Gento onto the what remaining deer there are. Did he pro scout? I'm not sure. I might have missed that one. We can check both players to see if they pro scout. Not here and not here either, so no. And we have, of course, Beasty going up with this sake brewery. There's nothing untoward, nothing different, nothing interesting really about that from Sengoku. It's coming straight in with the Fast Castle, and the Sake Brewery. The units, I want to say maybe there's a chance there's something interesting there. But it is going to be Radari and the free crossbowmen coming out from Gento. And Beasty still hasn't made anything, but I assume, yeah, the stables is going down. The Takeda estate is going down, and a second stables as well. So we're not going to see any infantry units paid for, at least, to be made, other than Jeanne d'Arc and obviously the free crossbowmen that do come out of the Golden Horn Tower, and you're never going to say no to that. And of course, those crossbowmen become really clutch and really useful in these situations, as you're basically exclusively fighting against knights. Speaking of knights, we can see Jigly's got a chivalry in, and Cora's looking to take a charge engagement, but then moving away. And Jeanne d'Arc herself is still, we do have that up there. You can see that she's still well away, and that is because nobody has really been fighting at all. Trying to pick up if we're getting any Vil kills. As far as I can tell, I don't think we've had a single one. And Core coming in on this engagement. The one good thing is if you can get some kills, JD's going to get experience, but you never like that against Knights because you get only a little bit of... well, if you can get a kill, you can get some experience, sure, but it's so hard to get these kills on. I think just one goes down there, which means that Jiggly's now just going to be able to walk away with some of those low health Knights to heal up. One peeling off to chase Core's Knight down there. But yeah, with these situations, there's nothing really forcing you to take these fights. Gento doing a good job to pick up the Yatai. The Yatai have gone completely uncontested until now, which really does feel good for Sengoku. There's at least a Vil kill from Gento. I think that's first blood. I might be wrong, at least from the Vils. And some of the Knights, of course, are going down. But the good thing is, at least in Core's perspective, is that JD is staying alive and getting some experience. The Knights give a lot, they just don't often die, which means that you're not going to get that much. This is a really, really greedy dare pack from Jiggly, putting so many Vils out there, and does lose one, even though I think this one's not going to get another kill. No, it goes down before anything can happen. We've got the Yatai Trader coming back, and it actually shouldn't get back with the insane damage of the Radari, but he pulls away. No, he goes back. No, he split the wrong unit. Gento, go back. No, no, no. Okay, there we go. The X throw. Just a little bit of accidentally pulling away the wrong unit there, pulling away the Radari rather than the Scout, but the X throw comes in clutch. I love that. I also love how like you see them actually change to the X as well. It looks dope. The champion Scouts still staying alive and actually should be fine here unless those charges connect, but I think the body blocking won't allow it to happen, so should still get away safely. And this is getting a lot of delay time from Core's Knights. We're really chasing him down. I want to see if champions give what kind of experience they give, but I think we might not find out as it literally gets away. That feels awful, especially when, well, actually in this case it doesn't really make too much of a difference because there's not really a lot that Core can be doing with his Knights at the minute anyway. But these Radari are picking up a couple kills. Maybe needed to switch to the axes. No, but just couldn't quite get the surround to stop them getting away to the TC. A couple of them do get blocked and taken down, but they do find their pathing in the end. So I think just a couple losses there at most. And staying under here, as it is only 2 Mounted Samurai which are responding, and these Radari aren't going to take much damage at all. The champions are here as well, at least not to Scout, but that's not too big of a deal at all, only giving the torch damage. But you've got the extra cavalry damage, which is the main thing from the horsemen there, and then being able to walk away without losing too much and getting a decent amount of idle time. But it's a knight-on-knight battle, which is the biggest one, and this is where French sort of comes in a little bit more powerful than JD, having a higher knight count, but being able to fight under reinforced or under the TC and having Jeanne d'Arc there to constantly be feeding over experience, and she is getting there now. Each one of those kills is quite a lot. 24 for a kill, you only need 500 experience, so you're not getting many knight kills, but every one you do makes a big difference. Gento getting more damage done too. I realize I'm just switching between Gento and Gento, and I don't think I'm going to stop. Now on the other side, we've got Beasty coming in and pushing off the gold. It's a lot of villagers coming off gold, and of course when you're just massing knights like this, it makes a huge economic gain if you can idle out that gold eco, even if it's just for a while. And we have now that Jiggly is going to be going up to castle, and I think Core won't be too far behind, but Core's only got 10 workers on food at the minute, which is a little bit surprising to me. Has he eaten up all of his... Oh, he's getting some farms in there before he's even able to go up, which does not feel good. Beasty just trying to get something with that, but not to be. Just at the very least keeping that monk alive. That always feels like it's worth if he's able to get it home. I can't see a relic count on this either, so we'll have to go manually check that. But I do think, for the most part, it's been Beasty collecting. And this is quite a massive unit now. The military count, you can see neck and neck, as is the eco count. But that relic count will make the difference once they come in. That one's not going to be for this world. But on this side of the map, they should be able to pick it up. The biggest thing is whether the fight, or whose way the fight is going to go. With JD still level 2, it doesn't feel quite as good. But the Mounted Samurai and the Radari are a huge power spike. And with Core still in Feudal Age, but Jigly's Knights in Castle, it does make their army a lot stronger. But of course, it does mean Core's got a better Knight count. And if you can get JD, it's level 3, which is any second now. Oh, we might get some pickups. Not quite getting the smackdowns we wanted. And they might... Yes, well done. Jiggly does micro it away. But yeah... Oh, the rest of them coming in as well. Where is Core's? I expected that to be Core's Knights, but it's Jiggly's that are closest to the fray. Running through, there's a lot of idle time at the least. And particularly for poor Core, no food. Relying on those farms, and only now going up with the Royal Institute on this side as well. Only because it's hidden, not for any value that the Royal Institute gives you. So that doesn't feel very good at all. In fact, the one in this game that's really feeling the most under the pump is poor old Core. But he does have a solid military behind this. And these feudal Royal Knights, and particularly with a level 3 JD, still can trade really, really well, even into the castle ones. But this feels absolutely awful for Jiggly. Getting pushed off his gold, which he needs so much. Not being able to finish the tower. Not that it really would have saved him that much. That Valiant Scout Champion finally dying after all this time. But this is just a handful of those Mounted Samurai from Beasty are enough to create a lot of damage down there. The idle time, the kills. Oh my gosh, see some... not making their way home either, is going to be quite a big economic blow. But who cares about economy when you've got a huge fight going on? This is the Radari versus Mounted Samurai. Which is more OP? That is the question. Now, it looks in this instance that the Mounted Samurai really were not being tested much at all. I don't know, obviously, what the effective cost of those units was. I think there was a bigger Mounted Samurai cost to start with. But they did not survive. Even before all of Core's Knights came across, whether they're a veteran yet, nope, veterancy just coming in now. It doesn't really matter. And pushing those Radari back makes a huge difference. There will be crossbows back at home, yes, but they've got no upgrades. One of the things about Macedonia is you really have to choose in situations like this. You want that silver to be spent on your Radari, which means these crossbowmen are doing their best. But it's really the Radari count which is the biggest. And in this case, the Radari fighting without your teammate against both Mounted Samurai and Castle Age French Knights. You can see the Radari holding up honestly better than I expected they would in that situation to take something of a 1v2. But on the other side, I mean, Core doesn't have, or Jiggly doesn't have too much there to help with either. On the Daimyo, not finding his control group and running to his death. And we've got an even military count again. Some of that, of course, is crossbows, but that's still pretty good for Gento and Jigly after what looked like it could be something of a disastrous trade, to be honest with you. Fighting a 1v2 is something you never want to do, especially when you're just doing it on pure numbers of heavy cav versus heavy cav rather than any type of counter unit. And like I say, that handful of crossbows, they do a great job, but they're not going to have the upgrades like you would on a normal civ. As the silver, the one sort of con to the silver is that you do have to pick which which type of unit, infantry, cavalry, or your archers, to give that to. But good job from Jiggly splitting off, getting in there on Core's side to get at least one kill, no, two villager kills on that little raid. Somehow sneaking in. I don't really know how he did that. I guess this side wasn't walled off yet, but that will be soon. And we see another Mounted Samurai versus Radari clash. And honestly, that crossbow number is really growing. 15 of them now. And none of these are paid for. That shit's all free. And it's doing a lot of damage against Mounted Samurai kills. You can see, yeah, they're basically two-shot the Mounted Samurai at this stage. Which is really, really big, but that is such a massive them. And if Beasty is able to sort of turn the fight and get all the damage off on these crossbowmen, they die so quick. Counter unit or no. And the Radari do a lot of damage themselves. Huge base stats, of course, including the upgrades. But it doesn't matter if they can't kill the Mounted Samurai before they can kill the crossbowmen. And losing all of them means that, literally all of them, means that there is nothing other than a cav on cav head smashed together and see who comes out on top. And when you equate the eco and the current military lead as a result of that, it is looking much, much better for Beasty and Core, especially now as Core has been able to sort of solidify his food situation. He's still going to need so many more farms, but he's in a position where he can slowly add them in, and he's still got that nut count. And if, oh my fucking god, these are all dying. This might be it right here. This is a huge fight. Gento and Jigly really need to be able to clean this up to get any kind of pressure alleviated to be able to get back in this game and be able to get their raids on the side. That one's not going to have anything going for it. That's having nothing going for it. And that is indeed the game with Gento tapping out and Jigly just behind. Really tough one. I mean, like I said, it's literally the most stock standard, basic 2v2, the classic, if you will, that you're ever going to see. But in this case, yeah, it was Beasty and Core who had the better heavy cavalry. Whether that means Sengoku beats Macedonian or Mounted Samurai beats Radari, I'll leave that up to you. But it was very much a case of clashing heads and then running over. I think both teams did a good job to get some rating off. Actually, if we can look at the build count over time, this will be really interesting because, like I say, with the UI, you can't really see so clearly what how many of those villager kills come in on the UI in case you miss it. So if my shit observing gets in the way, we're just going to miss it. In this case, I think this was the first one that I remember seeing, which was Core's going down there. Gento finally, after many attempts, getting a kill on the deer, and then Jiggly losing a couple, and then chaos really started to come in, and then unfortunately this big dip was Beasty getting on the gold, and then this even bigger dip, the end of the game. But yeah, the feudal knights, be it French or whoever can produce them, into a fast castle. I hope we don't see that in every single game. It very much is the team game or 2v2 meta, but a good first game nonetheless. If anything is shit, by the way, with the either like overlay stuff or audio, please let me know because I haven't tested any of that stuff, so and I'm really bad with it, so please do let me know. I will speed up to live. And we'll get stuck in there. Just stop speeding up as I did. Nope, we're good. Alrighty. So Himayama. So all the series, by the way, are going to be these three maps: Dry Arabia, Himayama, and the third one, which I'm blanking on. So we'll just quickly go up. Mega Random, actually, the third one, which is kind of exciting. So we have, in this case, it's a left versus right split. On the left-hand side, we have Beasty in the yellow on Mali, and Core in orange on French, really mixing things up from John Dark last game. And they are against, on the right side, Gento in blue on the Japanese, who has got a barracks already out, and Jigly in his beloved green on the Byzantine. And his beloved Byzantine too. If he doesn't do the gold build in March 2026, no, it's April 2026, excuse me. If he doesn't still do it, I'll be very disappointed. Can't have a trademark and then just like give up on it. And if he does do it, I will explain what that is. If he doesn't, I will still explain what it is, but do it in a disparaging way. So yeah, the first of interest is, of course, the Dark Age coming across from Gento, but it's going to be against the gold of... Nope, he's going to go across to Mali. No, he's not. Okay, I was going to say if Mali's gold was either in the front or closer to Japanese, that would be really good for them and really slow Beasty down. In this case, not so much. It is going to be Gento. Actually, how can I switch these over? It's on the wrong side. Does that do it? Boom! There we go. Sorry about that, team. He is in here against the French. It's still really, really useful if you can push off of gold. Even having forcing core to come across and put more on gold, that is going to die. Oh, I hate it. Hate it. That's a horrible feeling for poor Gento, but that's life, I guess. Or death in the case of that poor spearman. But if you can push away from the gold, it does feel good. In this case, not really, but also there's not a huge commitment, I say, as I see a third spearman, which is of course a fourth, and then the Vil is coming along to tower. Okay, so it is going to be the commitment. This is what I was about to say, is if you can push off of gold, and then they might get enough for the... oh, he went for wheelbarrow as well, actually. So his core is actually still getting a lot of gold out of this. He is going to get pushed off, and then have to maybe only be able to afford a knight when he ages up. Before needing to go on his next gold. But the good thing for Core is his next gold is just so easily in the back. It's not going to be a big deal for him. And in fact, Gento is already pulling away to go harass the Mali. Do they know? Do they know it's there? They do know it's there. That's not the greatest feeling in the world. Having to go all the way around there to try to burn stuff down, especially as the feudal is already coming up. It's going to be pretty easy for Beasty to be able to push this back without taking much damage against just a few spearmen. And that Vil just, I guess, went home. I wasn't looking. I assumed it was going to come across to build a tower, but I guess that got the mind got changed, which is an interesting one. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't have been able to get it up, but I guess just not valuing it in the end. So these spearmen, having nothing else to do, they're going to go burn down as much or as many houses or as much of a house as possible, and they should get at least one, maybe more. We'll see, but not too much damage. It's not going to be a big problem for Beasty. He'll be able to push that back with a single archer if that is his choice. Jigly is going for the Grand Winery. Nothing too untoward there. Very much what you expect to get that eco going. He went for, I didn't really see how much he went for on stone originally. I wasn't paying attention, but at least still got one on there now. So we've got 2 cisterns for now, and we'll slowly add those in with the rest of that stone. Lo and behold, School of Cavalry comes up and is finished. For core, we're going to see knights. We're going to see literally the same thing we saw out of core last game. Being the designated French player, I guess, in this case. Queenie, hello! How you doing, brother? Ah, subscribe. Thank you, man. That's very, very kind. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I gotta say, Queenie, I haven't booked my flights yet, but I am still planning with my partner to come across to Whamenqt Cup. So if it's assuming like work and I can get the flights, then I'll get to meet you in person, man. Which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, Gento, okay, just going up with a tower, and then the slow Kuristor house, which means an intent to go for castle. We've got 2 houses down out of Gento as well, which is nice. Push a little bit back from Beasty, and Beasty really not respecting it at all. I think is this disrespect to the play or the player, but looking to just match with Donzos rather than worrying about actually making an archery range. One step, or looking one step ahead, I think, about the heavy cab that will eventually be coming his way. Make a mustache, or don't, dude, don't. Yeah, so now with the upgrade of Donzos, they're going to be totally fine to push this away. So not needing to go for an archer. If there was a greater commitment, the archer, of course, would be needed against spearmen. But in this case, the spearmen, or Donzo rather, are going to be so much more useful against any cavalry coming Beastie's way. And I am interested to see if Jigly actually goes for the... That it did, Vil? Oh my gosh, he actually did get one. Core, very well done to pick one up there, even in the in amongst the spearmen. But yeah, if Jigly does go Kishiks, I'll be very interested to see, or whether he looks to go more into the classic longbows for the Castle Age Cataphract longbow composition, which is oh so powerful especially in 1v1s. In team games, longbows obviously have a lot less power with their lack of mobility, their lack of speed, not being so effective. Another good little run around from Core, and he gets it, and he's going to get out as well. That is really, really nice micro from Core. Both times to get 2 kills against 2 spearmen on these berries. That's really nice, and it's actually not that easy to do because you do have to make sure you click very precisely to make sure that the one that you're going to charge and then get the follow-up attack on, and you don't get stuck in between animations where the spearman can kill you. So very, very nice, actually, out of Core. And 2 Vil kills this early against the Japanese that wants the fast castle, but is not getting there super quickly. Puts Beasty and Core in a nice position. And Beasty, even with just those 3 spearmen, this is something I'm really impressed by pro players. They get so much out of so little. Being able to push off that just the one villager, sure, but like being able to push off of stone and get the camp down. It's just those little things you can wrestle out of the game. An advantage. Oh, and nice from Gento to pick up the loose knight. It can sometimes feel like, oh, it's just a low health knight. It's probably going to die anyway. But for French, you know, with chivalry, they are going to be able to heal up. So in a lot of ways, it's... Oh, we do see Keshix. In a lot of ways, to finish that thought, it is almost as valuable as a full health knight, or any knight is given the same value, I should say. So it is Keshix from Jigly, and I think we are going to see the gulp. The cistern of the first hill. So Jigly doing what he is known for. Other than being banned in Beasty's chat, he's doing the next... I guess he's a 2-trick pony, is what I'm trying to say. But this is really cool. I do like this build, to be fair to Jigly, and I do think it is really strong. Maybe not what it used to be, as metas have changed. But basically, getting the gulp on your cataphracts means that those things really don't die super easily, and as long as you micro them somewhat effectively, you're going to keep those things alive, like an overcharged chivalry, which just needs a little bit more micro than the automatic healing. But really cool to see. And we've also got the Keshix out already from the mercenaries, and we'll see the cataphracts joining them so shortly. But Gento, even though did go for the Dark Age aggression and committed a little bit there and took a little bit of damage, he is our first player up to Castle Age, with of course the Yoroshiro, which is just sitting there doing nothing. But we don't have a stables yet. Did we forget Wood? Gento? I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he's got something else going on. But there's no stables here, and of course there's nothing in the barracks. And the big problem with this, as everything hides in the TC, the big problem with this is if you go castle, you're telling your opponent, hey, I've got nothing at home. You can come attack me right now, and you're going to have an advantage, assuming you're not trying to do the same thing. So it really just not waves the white flag, but it's a welcome in sign as the scout goes down as well, which is really dangerous. And it's going to be the archer, so it's going to be the only Musha actually out of the Japanese player, but very much still wanted this up a while ago. Just obviously it's a huge food and gold investment unit wise, but you need the production first. So maybe a little bit of an oversight there from Gento, but he will stabilize out in the end. But the eco is a little bit hidden there. Speaking of eco, the pro scouts coming in is still coming in, as there's so many sheep on the map. But the Keshix are in there healing away, and you can see this one is all gulped up, as that healing is pretty surreal coming through. Means they can dive the TC without dying. If there are units there to fight back, it makes a huge difference. But against just TC fire, you can really heal it. Now, Core unfortunately did not see these. I think this literally would have been gained if he was able to find these Vils on these berries. So a little bit lucky for Gento and Jigly in that respect, but they do survive. And I think taking a risk, honestly, is not a bad call. We've got some of these Feudal Donzo coming in from Beasty. We see, this is why he didn't go for an archery range, knowing that, well, if he could push back with Donzo against Spearmen and then make more of them to secure themselves up, he was going to be in a better spot, and that's exactly what he's done. Now heading castle, I'm going to expect to see Sofa, to be honest with you. But we might see Donzo as well, the continued investment. Yeah, there are 3 wrecks, so I think we might actually see continued Donzo production. So Donzo Knights, interestingly enough. Was that a Donzo itself? But the Vils do pull it away. So now we've got a little bit more going on. I think this is something that Himayama actually makes for a good map. Is that sometimes the map can get kind of split. All the players are kind of equidistant away. It can mean that the games sometimes form into a little bit of like 1v1s where it's hard for your opponents or your teammate even to be able to come across and join up with you. But if you can join up and isolate an opponent, it can almost be like an attacker's advantage. In this case though, it is Gento and Jigly who are putting the pressure on as Core just hits Castle Age but does not have much else going. There's a lot of workers there doing not very much. And it is just Donzo and... Oh, the trample coming in. There's a lot of pokes though. The trample may be actually causing more problems than the worth, but the Donzo count's not that high anyway. So not going to be a lot of damage coming onto those very, very high health cataphracts. But the cataphracts with the trample can sometimes be an Achilles heel, as you just mean more of those spearmen are able to get attacks on you even faster. But in this case, it's really the Onimusha which are doing the most damage. Although you need to be careful of the TC fire. But Onimusha obviously don't hard counter spearmen at all. In fact, you can see them really only tickling the Donzo. But the more that they are able to shoot, and those Donzo are not going to be able to shoot back, or only, I guess, every now and then they can throw their javelins. But the Onimusha will, of course, be able to come out ahead as that count comes up. And there's no upgrades on those from Gento yet, which I'm sure will come through soon. Once he has the money for it. But I think, yeah, the eco just looking to slowly get set up, but not quite there to be able to have everything he wants and more. But for Jiggly, oh, the Onimusha getting caught. Every single one that goes down is actually pretty big. Core doing a really good job this game, sort of fighting side by side or across the side horizontally with his opposite player. That's more what I'm going for. And Gento sort of winning that 1v1 a little bit, which is great for him. Jiggy now looking to get some pickups off the Donzo, which is definitely worth it to keep that count down as much as possible. And we see, are we making anything else? Yes, we are going into the archery range now, on top of our already having 6 barracks. But the Donzo count itself is 20-ish, and now we've got the Mustafadi coming in there as well. I wonder what the archery range is going to be used for. I mean, it must be poison archers. I can't imagine it's going to be javelins just for... No, it actually probably is just javelins for the Onimusha, because, of course, nothing else that they have is going to counter it. So they're backing the micro there to even go javelins and castle, which is not something you typically see. Well, I say that now. We'll see if he actually commits to it or not. He's just one of them, and he hasn't made anything out of it yet. As even the Mustafadi haven't hit the field. But in this case, we are deep fighting Jiggly. The gulps are going, but I think we're all out of them. But you can see how tanky and how much damage the cataphracts do. Really don't give 2 shits about the TC fire going down, although the Onimusha really struggle with it. And the count is going down there on some of those Akashics, or a couple of those Akashics. And the Donzo and the Knights, Castle Age Knights from Core, still do a very good job at being able to push those away. And the Mustafadi there are going to be the extra DPS dealers as well. And of course, much like the Donzo, the Onimusha will obviously kill them, but slowly. And it does require the micro to get in and out. Now, I didn't look at relics pretty much at all this game. I think Beasty got at least 3. Did he get more than that? And I'm not sure. What have we got back here? Nothing sitting in there for Core. We've got... nothing. Oh, 3 for Gento. There we go. And then... did Jiggly get any? I don't think so. Oh my gosh, that's a long cistern. And they're both going for it, and there's still one relic in the back. That doesn't feel too great. It's level 5 though, that does feel good, but that is one long stone wall. I wonder what that actually costs. As we I think that Shinto priest might not be long for this world. Pull him away, and what I thought was going to be a good reaction, but then going back and then doing it again. Just baiting was his life. Much respect for this, I was going to say young man, but brave we'll use instead. Beasty now actually, now only just now with a couple of archer rangers committing to making those javelins to counter the Onimusha. I imagine we're not going to see really anything else different out of Gento and Jigly, and for good reason. The Cataphract plus Onimusha. Oh, that's dangerous. There's a couple going down, 2 very, very low, and then the Daimyo is also very, very, or the Bannerman, I should say, is also very, very low, and it's not in the hotkey and gets turned around and does go down. That really, really sucks and does lose you a lot of that damage to start with. With the Javelins coming out now, you actually see them die pretty quickly. Are they upgraded? They are upgraded. But once the numbers come up, they are going to shred the Onimusha even more than what we're seeing just out of the Knights and Donzos. And there's such a big Donzo mass. And with the point where we're just burning down buildings in 2 seconds is really, really dangerous. And Jiggly must be coming across with the Cataphracts and Keshix. He is, but that is not enough to fight the Donzos at all. And so we see the thing, and we get a lot of complaints, or a lot of people on Reddit especially complain about the combination of Knights plus some kind of Horse Archer. And there are a number of those in the game, being really, really difficult to counter. But in this case, we're seeing really, really good strategy out of both Beasty and Core to basically expose or make the most of the fact that these Onimusha, although they've got mobility and good base damage, they are not actual counters to Donzo or Musafari, and of course not javelin throwers. And it means that even if over time, slowly, you can get all these down, it means that both Beasty and Core are going to be able to run through and do whatever they want, while these Onimusha try hard as they like to idle or to take out those Donzos while the economy sits idle. 31 idle bills, 35 for Gento at the moment, and Beasty is just sitting underneath his food eco. We can see there's 5 currently working and there's no money, but 1,600 wood in the bank. Shit. And Beasty's sitting there on more gold than he can spend, and with no villages on it, just one somewhere, I guess, yeah, made the pit mine. More gold that he can do with, and he can definitely hand that off to, yeah, okay. Hand that off to Core. Doesn't need to. Jigly taps out and Gento just behind him. Yeah, that one much, much cleaner from both Beasty and Core. I think in this game, like I said, with Himayama, I think it does kind of become a little bit more one-on-one. Like it's almost like lanes in like a MOBA, where you sort of need to win your side. And this was a case where Gento did like a little bit of damage early on, getting 2 houses down of Beasty, but it didn't really put him much behind at all. He was able to get out of it just by making Donzos, which he wanted to make anyway. And then the superior eco and the French Knights, or Core doing a great job to get a couple of kills early on Gento. And then, of course, yeah, the French Knights are so strong in these 2v2 situations. And then you add on just the Mali eco and the absolute stream of Donzos. You see, like, just economically, and it's, I mean, this is Mali, yeah, this is 1 TC. There's nothing crazy that Beasty is doing, but you see, like, if you look at Vils, right, he's getting his pit mines in, he's not taking any damage, and he's got a really quick or really strong cow boom into a good castle age timing. You see him getting there third, though, behind the Japanese player and the Byzantine player, so behind both of his opponents. But not a big deal when you can defend with Donzos. And then if we go to this military graph, just absolutely takes off like the Artemis 2 rocket. And at that point, it doesn't really matter too much what you do with that many Donzo, Mustafadi, and then Javelin throwers behind it. It becomes a pretty foregone conclusion for Beasty and Core. But yeah, well done from Core getting those little picks off early, playing the French role really, really cleanly. Gento and Jigly getting off what they wanted to get off, but with their builds, but with both fast castling, which is usually pretty dangerous to do, but in this case, it just wasn't to be. The only last thing I want to check is just the villager count early. Yeah, Gento was really put behind from Core's damage. There was one here, and then a few more when Core came in on the castle age up, which I think was definitely, if I could point to something as a mistake, it would just be that macro in the castle switch not having the wood. But even then, I think he wouldn't have had enough Onimusha to be able to stop Core from diving. So It's a tough one. Definitely a tough one. But even though that's 2 games down, we are going to go into a third anyway. And we do have the Jeanne d'Arc and Chinese for Jigly and Gento. And Order the Dragon and a U-Bid for Beasty and Core. Now, Core's Order the Dragon, I think people sort of meme on him a little bit for playing it so much. But I genuinely think he is really good at it. And he's made me a much bigger believer. What the fuck is this spawn?
Yeah.
I assume they don't remake anything. I assume, like, it's not that serious. I mean, if it was that serious, they wouldn't be playing Mega Random, right? Hey, Tommy, mate. Actually, yeah, Tommy, you'll know that for sure then, surely. I assume this like not serious enough for anyone to worry about like remakes and shit. Otherwise, you wouldn't be playing Mega Random. But this is wild. I love it. This is sick. And I'm also so happy that it's Core on Order the Dragon. It's near all these deep sea fish. And I assume let's have a look, see if he can see both ponds already. Yeah, he scouted them out both right away. And Beasty's got his right next to him as well. And then if we go to the other side of it, okay, we do have the pond there for Gento, but for Jigly, if he wants it, he has to go a little bit further and then contest Beasty on the water to be able to get anything. They wanted to add Mega Ram to the pool and keep it there, bro. I love it. I love it. If this was more serious or it wasn't like a play all 3 situation for each of the games, maybe it's obviously a little bit different. But hey, man, this is I don't know what I was expecting, but what I love about this is when you get these types of like map spawns and it really is as randomly generated as this Mega Random is, and then you get a full experience of players adapting. And you get to see like a little bit more strategy, a little bit more thought go into it from the players. And hopefully in this case, you know, two minds for one team are better than one. And they can come up with something interesting. Core really going in on the walls already. I guess I can't really say walls when it's one tile. But he has got a lovely little situation for himself. Even all the relics are just tucked up here nice and safely for Core to go get if he fast castles. Interestingly, of course, let me flip the UI, excuse me. Is this one? Yeah. Interestingly for this one is we of course got the French, or JD I should say in this case for Jiggly. So really not going to be able to make, or not looking to make the most of these maps of this situation. French are pretty good on water. If you get the extra eco, you can make a lot more knights. But that's not going to be something for Jiggly. But he's going to go for the next best thing, which is deer. And he's got 2 deer packs right next to each other, which is great. And probably means he's not going to need to pro scout either, which means he is going to have a higher count. Turning to sheep, by the way, that is a lot for Beastie. I don't know if others got similar. I don't know if there's a set number that spawns on this map. But that's a lot for Gento, a lot for Beastie. Where is Jiggly's scout? Tell me that is not it. Or else he has nothing. Gento very kindly bringing some over and might need to do more. If that's it for all of them, that's crazy. Core doesn't care. He just needs a couple to keep these under TC, but he's going to be double dock and I assume probably a third. A Beastie's actually come up here for the safe dock as well. Is walling off that side, being very vigilant with the scouting. And then yeah, I mean you can't ask much more. And then securing off both sides of the map. Beastie obviously knowing that the French player or the JD player is closest to him, and those knights are going to be coming through. Went up or is going to go up. We'll see if it's the faster wing. What is it called? Advancement to secure himself up, or whether he's feeling a bit more confident with that one. But this and then more walls coming in. So that, I mean, I think Core is making the right call, just really wanting to boom up and make the most of what he has, and knows that as long as he holds on, he's going to be in the best position possible if he can safely get to castle. Looking to do it very responsibly, though, with a lot of walls and spearmen behind it. Which I think I understand the triple levels as well. And I guess once Beasty gets up, he could even just make a ship to somewhat defend that entire coastline as well. Now, Gento coming out to make... Is that his second? No, it'll be his third dock. Our fishing ship count is somewhat decent for him, but of course we don't have that for the John Dark player, which means we already have, at minute 540, a 10 eco lead with the fishing ship eco of both Beasty and Core. And already 5 minutes into the game, you're like, I don't know how Gento and Jigly can win this. Jigly's got to get a lot of damage done with this feudal aggression if that's what he's going for, but he's got very little opportunity or anywhere vulnerable to attack. I wish him all the best, to be honest with you. And it is going to be double aggression, knowing that they've got the short end of the straw. They've got to go make something happen. But burning down walls is the last thing you want to be doing when you feel you're on a timer. The transport ship coming up from Gento, very, very smart. Very smart. This is really, really nice to see. Some teamwork there, bringing across the knights. But it's going to be a lot of micro, actually. And gets the Vil kill, that's lovely. A lot of micro to bring everything across to be able to get some damage done. But that does, if done well, that really does nullify the investment. And it's going to expose so much more of the economy as Jigly comes in and gets another Vil kill. So that's at least -2. But they do still have a 10 eco lead. And Core has come across with the spearman, but if we just move, it's going to be dangerous. JD does take a long time to kill these spearmen. 160 health, and she only does 13 damage. But the archers coming in will make a huge difference. And if we look to see... So we've got Industry Wing coming in for Beastie, and the Feudal's almost coming up. Ark and Chapel coming up. Why is it there? I guess it doesn't really matter. I actually was kind of expecting to see mine work in this game. It doesn't really matter too much, but it is coming up. But whether we see any sort of extra military response in the Castle Age, or whether both players look to just macro up to Castle... feudal age is what I meant to say, but if both players look to go up to Castle, and if they do, if both Beastie and Core can get up to Castle without taking a lot of damage, which is pressure is really coming across slowly, then they're going to be, basically, it'll be all she wrote. With this economy behind it in the Castle Age, it becomes nearly impossible for Gento and Jiggly to do anything. It already feels incredibly rough because you feel like you're on such a timer to get something done, and you feel like you've got to do so much damage to even this out. I guess yeah, I can come across for the sake of the wood, and the Burgrave coming up. No, we changed our mind, Regnitz. Let's go get all those 1,000,000 relics so we have the world's best food eco and the world's best gold eco. Is actually pretty surreal. Now 4 towers coming up on the gold. Beastie definitely knowing that if he can secure the gold, he's going to be fine, as all his wood, all his food is on the water. And yeah, absolutely fair enough. The ship's now out too to defend the crossing, killing scouts. That's it. Yeah, that knight is in range, which actually they do quite a lot of damage against boats, but they do quite a lot of damage back. And that arrow damage. Is there +1 defense? No, there's not. So arrow damage against knights does so much. Gento's got both of his ranged upgrades. But yeah, Core already Castle Age. Is going to be collecting relics. Is going to be going into knights. Oof. Is with that eco and that amount of units, it becomes such a nightmare to play against. Even in like a 1v1 situation. Even without water, like if they can get, if Order of the Dragon can get in a position where they can just print units without having to worry, It feels unbelievable. And we've seen Core do such a great job with all of the Dragon in his own games. And in this case, I think just 3 or 4 archers for nothing other than, I guess, a little bit of idle time. We do have the Knights coming through. Nice from Jigly getting a couple kills in between the water and the TC, which is really nice. But again, it's still it's still a bit of a worry when it comes to that eco count. And of course now the tech difference. And demo ship coming in. No, it does get caught out. On the land, we've got archers running away from the spearmen, which is, they will be able to pick those up, which is good. But those 2 knights go down. That feels really, really rough, as Jigly is going to need these knights. Speaking of needing them, they're in the worst position. Really, really clutch. Even though that villager ended up dying, really clutch from Beasty to get the layers of walls up. It has proved to pay for itself, even though that villager died, and even though the transport ship has been shipping them around. So many poor Gento's archers have been dying as well. And also, poor Gento's got so much gold in the bank. A lot of it is just from taxes, which feels a bit just extra. But it does mean it feels really, really bad when your eco isn't so balanced. When, like I say, you're on a timer or feel like you're really, really in a tough situation trying to squeeze out any kind of lead or do enough damage to squeeze out any type of lead. Or you see how little damage they do against the knight, and that's even before it has any military upgrades. And now the combination of feudal royal knights as well as the archers almost get it down. It's going to be able to run away and heal. The water is still very much just a bit of a tussle, but nothing really breaking through. I think Gento's doing a good job trying to commit as much as that to then take out that fishing economy at the front, which I think is a non-negotiable. It needs to happen for them to be able to get something back economically. Core handing over money now to Beasty, as he's slowly getting the relics in, but uncontested. I mean, he really can take his time. Gento doing the same thing on this side, which will help against any raids from the gilded knights, but in the interim, not going to help against the relics or anything up on that side of the map, as it really is all about defending here, and whether Gento and Jigly can get any damage done, as they're both sort of in like a little bit of like a mid macro, having decent villager counts at this point, 12, almost 13 minutes into the game, but not really having a lot that they can go and get done now that both Beasty and Core are comfortably in Castle Age and pumping out a lot of Castle Age units. It does make it near impossible, dare I say, for them to find any damage. I think trying to get onto the fishing from Gento, like, it's a really, best of bad situation type of move. And if you can get something going on the lands to sort of complement that, goes great, especially if you can get JD up. If we switch to JD and see, oh, she's got no experience. And I was hoping she would maybe be ticking up, not even a third of the way there. And she may even go down here pretty quickly. She's running around, and yeah, she does cark it, the poor thing, at the young age of 19 years old, just like in real life. Even the Gilded Knights taking out the boats from Gento, which is probably the one avenue that they could have, would be trying to have that water supremacy, as most of the docks from Core and Beasty aren't on this side. But dude, I mean, doomed from the start. GG. The third game goes over to Beasty and Core with one of the oh, Tommy, I just saw your message, mate. I'm a fucking moron. Thanks, mate. Dude, it's tough. I mean, it's fun. I'm glad they added it. This mega random in, but like, look at this eco. The 3 players fishing. If anyone at home is wondering why, if there's any even chance of being able to go for fishing, or I should say deep water fishing, especially, but all fishing, why you go for it, let this graph sort of show you why. And if not that graph, then this graph. Resources gathered. Green, Jigly is Jeanne d'Arc being the only player not to be able to get on the water. The poor thing. And just absolutely ran away with it. It's crazy how much it makes a difference. And you can see this is a military graph that you would think would be you would like to see from Gento and Jigly. And they definitely tried their best to get what they could out of a terrible situation. But ultimately, it was a really terrible situation. The poor things. All right, so with that, 3-0 in this playoff 3. So already we've got something a little bit different, which I love. Also a little bit different. Jiggly has gone for the teal or cyan rather than his green. So we're just mixing shit up already. But yeah, this will be a little bit different of a game, which I'm really looking forward to, because I think what we saw in that first series, as I just bring us up to live, what we saw in that first series was basically what you'd expect out of a lot of team games that you see, be it tournament or ladder. I think a lot of people can relate to the experience of all 3 of those games. No, 2 of those games. The third one was an absolute clusterfuck. But definitely the first 2. In this case, oh man, it's kind of ugly with which side makes the most sense. I think orange is ever so further left, so I'm going to put Jiggly and Core on the left side of the UI, but it's a little bit awkward being up and down. On the French, Gento going straight out on the dare. And I think we saw from Mongols, we were on the woods, and we'll see very shortly what the commitment is there out of Jigly. We've got the Matsuri on the gold, as we see so commonly now. And we have the first Yate coming out. I assume we'll see at least 2, if not 3. And Abbasid doing nothing out of the ordinary there. 2 onwards, and a stable's going down. So we are going to see the... it was a little while ago now, but like slightly buffed up Dark Age Horsemen. They got a little bit more health. They also, even longer ago, got that extra ranged armor. And of course, they've got all the mobility, and they've got increased production time. 25% increased production time on all horsemen, which includes the Dark Age Horsemen for Mongols, which feels nice. I'm interested to see if Jiggly is going to go for the 1 early and then double produce, or whether he waits for the 120 stone and just goes for the double production. And this will do a nice little job to push off of gold and berries for both players. Actually, probably can't push off berries there, unfortunately, for Jiggly. We'll be able to push off gold, and potentially can even start torching down the Matsuri, which is something that feels quite nice for Mongols against Sengoku, because otherwise it can be a bit rough. Core going up with the Eco Wing, so we are going to see, I'm sure, at least a second TC. Although poor, actually, excuse my language, but poor Core's stone is not only in front, but it's an absolute continent away. And if Jiggly can get on top of that, there's going to be little to no chance, at least very difficult for him to be able to secure that. But it doesn't actually look, based on him staying on gold, that he's too fussed about that situation and going for a fast second TC. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to see out of Core. Hopefully something a little bit different, a little bit exciting, whether that be 2-3 TCs, or whether it be 3 TCs or something a little bit more aggressive. The Eco Wing is so good that you don't really need to have... you don't really have to go for the extra TCs to still, for it to still be a valuable age up. But I do see him going out onto the stone now, so we're going to see at least a second one. The Horseman on the Arte. Now, it does kind of suck that you can't kill them when you're able to catch them out in the wild like that, but you are able to push them back from the food. The thing that's a little bit harder in this situation for Sengoku is, or rather the Mongol against Sengoku, is that the maps are bigger, they've got more places they can go hide them. So with only a couple horsemen, it can be really tough. So often what we see is players going up to even 5 horsemen. In this case, Jiggly is just double produced 1 batch, and that's it. Where is this villager going? Is this for real? Is that going to go secure deer? We got a little scout fight having a great time, I guess. These Dark Age Horsemen are going to look for Yatai still, but there's none down here. And yeah, Jiggly did doing a... Oh, Jiggly is a dog. He changed the name, dude. How did I not pick up on this the whole time? Let me call him Jiggly. This is Beasty. Of course. I was wondering why it looked slightly different. I think it was the capital J that threw me. I didn't even read is a dork this whole time. I just read it as Jiggly, and then I just blanked on the rest of the name. Oh, maybe I should have a coffee in between this. So Beasty is coming down to make a tower. It's not a misclick. And did go for the double production, and then waited to make, for the next 120 stone, to make another set of double production. Or losing his scout, which doesn't feel great. And does look like Core is going to go for even a third TC. Oh no, he's pulling off. Core, is this... How much does it cost? Okay, no, he is going for 3 TCs. I was going to say. But yeah, it was a good job from actual Jiggly to make a tower here to stop the horseman. So Beasty does react by an extra commitment to get another to get his own tower. The tower defense, I actually did this talked about this in a YouTube video recently, not to plug my own shit, about defending Dark Age aggression. And the tower is really, really good if you are only against units. So it could be spearmen, horsemen, men at arms. It really doesn't matter. The tower will defend it well. However, the tower does not defend against the tower rush at all. To cover your gold, you need 2 towers, which is just not worth the investment. And so it's not worth doing, basically. So this was a little bit of a, not necessarily a gamble, but it's a bit of a tell from Jiggly to be like, hey, I don't think you're going to be towering me, or you're not going to be able to tower me. So I'm going to build my own tower for safety. Beasty just walks on around, comes on in, and is able to build that tower. And as soon as that goes up, it's able to force those vills away. And the other thing about that is now Beasty's going to start burning this down. It could potentially get that bounty behind that as well. And we'll see if he's able to micro the low ones back successfully to get into the tower, but it might not be the case. And even in all this time, all this happenings, Gento has been able to come across the map with his own knights to come help the burning. And this is, yeah, these Dark Age Horsemen dying is really not that big of a deal. They are here to serve this purpose and this purpose only. So it does go down, the bounty goes over, and then could even start teeing off on the Matsuri if he likes, or there might even be more on the map to go find. But now we've got feudal knights, we've got horsemen, Dark Age, feudal age horsemen, I should say, made in the Dark Age, and then we've got poor Jiggly and real Jiggly and Core struggling away to just hold on and survive. So Sengoku looking to keep their economy alive, and Beasty is now towering the second goal as well. To be fair, I think Jiggly is able to either go across to maybe Core's side, but actually, no, it is hard to get down here because that tower does sort of block the path and shows the vision. Whoops, did not mean to press that button. Why am I so bad at this? This one, this one, this one, this one. Nope, not this one, this one. To see, yeah, he's got his full nose, and he can see with this so much. That makes it really, really tough. For poor old Jiggly. Does stop the tower going up, so there is going to be a potential reprieve there if he can get it. Gento coming in. That's 1 Vil kill down. It might be more, not necessary, but Core, he's got his 3 TCs up. Oh, we got 1 Yatai hanging out over here. 3 TCs up, loses the knight, unfortunately. And is now getting the barracks to get the spearman to go with it, but it is going to be purely defensively. Lovely surround here. This, oh no, it needs to be attacking rather than fighting. And Jiggly was, one was running around not attacking the poor diamond that goes down, and then the Yari cavalry was attacking the wolf, was it? Rather than anything else. So isn't able to get out there. And these knights aren't going to have a lot to be able to get done, though, at least. Although a villager does go down, that is rough. And behind this, our Mongol player Beasty is going to be going to the Castle Age. Gento, the teammate, is in no rush. Playing on the French, is happy just making nice. Now we do see the pull. Did we get textiles? No, we didn't get textiles, and I think that Vil might actually go down. It does. It's a shame. It does feel pretty bad when it happens, but all in all, we'll be happy to have taken that tower down to free up that gold, as Jiggly would have loved to be able to go to the Castle Age, but Gento and Beasty have done a good job to deny that. Whether it be the tower then and then units now, it is definitely what they're wanting to stop is the Sengoku's ability to get up to Castle Age. And it is going to be a Mongol player who's going to be the first to get there. And I think this is a pretty good choice from Beasty and Gento. All that Yate almost going down as well. And those villages, if they can get the pathing before, all takes onto 4 different ways. I think almost all of them get in. That's a shame. But even before that, there were still 2 that went down, another 2 under the TC that came down. Those Feudal Knights really, like, the Yari do their best, but they still really are horsemen. They are not counters, even though they get that extra little bit of damage. They are not counters at all to Knights. And you can see that the pure numbers of... Now Keshik's being added in from Beasty as well, but the Feudal Age Horsemen, the Keshiks, and the Feudal Knights, well, the Royal Knights in Gento make it all so difficult. And just the villagers running around through all this, it's just going to be... it's really difficult, but it's just going to be a matter of trying to hold on for both Jigly and Core, so that Core can come online and hopefully be able to help run away with things with that booming eco. But if we look as a result of that clash, the total eco count, Core's got 57 bills. It's 78 to 76. They got a slight lead, Jigly and Core, but they are behind, or soon, very, very soon to be behind in age. They have increased military numbers, but a lot of that is tied up in Spearmen and Horsemen. So not the most dangerous of units, but definitely a lot more defensive in this situation. And poor old Jigly is on 22 bills, whereas Core is sitting on 61. And to get a little bit of a baseline understanding, we've got somewhere between 41 and 37 for where we would expect poor Jigly to otherwise have been. And of course behind it, he's not had a lot of success with the Yate either. This Yate is pulling in 50 per minute, which is actually really, really good. It doesn't look like it was going to be that good. Oh, these Spearmen are going to go down. This is definitely worth it from Gento. Needs to pull away the low ones. Does do a pretty good job there, and it's not going to lose any. And that's a whole lot of Spearmen going down. And that's something that Core needs, obviously, to defend himself. Oh, it should go down. But also that both Core and Jigly need to just be able to solidify before all of these Castle Age units come out. And this is incredibly rude to be on these days. He hasn't even gone for his own boar. He's like, actually, it's safer to just hang out in front of your base. I've got the tower vision. I don't need anything else. And I've got the units. I'm not scared at all. Another Spearman going down. What are we running across? Oh, we got the Spearman raid coming in. In fact, if he can wrap around all these from Gento, it could be a lot of damage. There you go. That's a nice little surround. Gonna get 3. Maybe another couple more from the lack of pathing. Maybe not. The Phalanx coming in real clutch out of the Abyss Spears. You can see that extra range, meaning that so much more effective damage comes through. Now, yeah, we've got the Kurultai and the Dare Stones on the front from Beasty, and he's performing the Archer role. So Castle Archers from Mongol plus the Knights from French, who is now going to Castle Age himself, means it's a classic Knight Archer comp, just done a little bit differently with a Mongol twist. And I love that from Mongol, and we see more Archer Rangers going down for the full commitment to Archers. This is not going to be Mangadai, I'm afraid, although I would love to see it if there is any time to see Mangadai in team games, but it doesn't really call for it in this situation, especially when it's there to counter all these Spearmen and to let Gento run wild. You see, if we get a sort of a look at the healing coming in from both Chivalry, she doesn't have Chivalry, does he? But the Kurultai, it's no, he must have it if it's this far away. I thought it came up with an icon. I guess I'm wrong on that. But it's really, really nice to be able to share those buffs with your teammate. And now with it sort of sets up a natural staging ground for both Beasty and Gento to start peppering for Jigly's face, who has just had nothing but pressure put on him this entire game. He's sitting at 29 villages and in the feudal age with nothing really to show for it, rather just 12 Yari and 1 Daimyo. This is his entire force, which is not going to be able to really defend himself. It's all on Core to make something happen for these guys. And I mean, I think they knew this going in with their strategy. Like, you got one trying to boom and one that wants to get castle, even if it's not necessarily a fast castle per se. That's where their strength is going to be. Those Yari were never going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the French Knights from Gento. They look to turn as the Kurultai comes over with the army here, knowing core is the problem. Jigly's basically dead. If they can get onto the multiple TCs and the village account from core, who's just gone up to Castle Age, so they know there's not too much here going on. In fact, it went up with the military wing, which is going to be great getting the boot camp, and then if he does go for archers, but that's probably not the game for it, to be honest with you. So composite bows is not going to be particularly helpful. It's just going to be a matter of trying to get spears to survive, but against Knight Archer, it's really not going to be the difference maker. The extra spears that were in Jigly's base now coming across, and this is definitely enough to clean it up. The veterancy coming in now, and they do have phalanx, so they will be able to clear out a lot of these units, do a little bit more damage than otherwise a chasing spearman would be able to do. But it is just not a lot from the two. The only thing they've got going for them is this 3 PC booming Abbasid. If they can just hold on and solidify the economies a little bit, and I think he is going to get the spearman. No, he kills it, or not wanting to give it over. Deletes his own spearman before the conversion comes in. And they're all going to pick up the Kurultai, actually. If they can get around it, they just right-clicked on it for now. If the spearmen get around it, it's nice and easy, and with phalanx, they are going to get. This is quite big, particularly in 2v2s or team games when you have a Kurultai boosting up, buffing up that many extra units. It's huge, huge damage, huge healing, as little points sort of come back to heal and repair, or whether it's the extra damage and taking a straight-up fight. But in this case, it's gone. Beasty not looking after his toys. Some food given over to Jigly, trying to help him out to kick Castle Age, the poor thing. But Core is a generous benefactor, willing to... Oh, this is not going to get up in time. These guys, if they are wanting to come through, and they don't. Good job from Core, and the spears coming across as well. And we see those camel riders that have come in from the military wing. And they're pushing back on this side too. So, I mean, they've been able to hold off the assault, really. And with the Kurultai going down, it does mean that militarily it's not too dangerous coming out of Beasty and Gento anymore. And Abbasid being able to hold on, and Jigly getting up to Castle Age, as long as Jigly can sort of stabilize a little bit here, or whether, Core can donate so much to help him. Are we going to see this? Jigly? Does see it. Good job. He's going to look to wrap in front. That looks like a good surround there. There's at least 3. And the other one's going away. It's quite a lot. And it's only archers here, so he doesn't need to turn back at all. You keep going on these builds. It'll commit to as many of them as possible. The spearmen coming in here as well, and could be diving even further. And this is even though there's so many archers coming out here for Beasty, this is where Mongol really don't feel too powerful at all. They don't have a lot going for them. They've got the Khan Hunter, and they've got Kurultai buff, Deer Stone's buff that helps with the archers, but otherwise there's not a lot. The eco feels like shit. You're really wanting to have got an advantage by now. And they did a good job at basically putting Jigly on his back, but not able to deal the killing blow or to really do much damage to Core. We do see now Whamenqt coming through from Beasty and is getting a decent count, which is going to help being able to put the damage on from a raiding perspective, and will help with dealing with especially these spearmen on the front. But honestly, Core can kind of just continue to make Jigly's hitting a bunch of villages across. It's just not going to be able to survive these Whamenqt or anything on his side. Oh, it does save the Matsuri, that's nice. But not too much. I think there's a veterancy coming in there for Yari. He is making 1 Mountain Samurai at a time, as the food is so rough. It was a good job from Beasty and Gento to be able to still keep putting him back. And this is where it's going to be most telling, is how much damage they can do to Core's economy. And stop him just being able to win this game 1v2, or to be able to hold on 1v2 long enough for Jigly to get into the game. Because at the minute, Jigly is really not playing at all. In fact, where is he going with these? He's going for these berries. So a bit of a staging ground for Core and Jigly, wanting to really commit. Core's got a lot of wood here. I assume this was for rams, but he's already got so many of them. and not really any gold behind this as well. In fact, I think this is the only sort of gold that they're dealing with, which could be a real tipping point for them. Gento coming in, not able to save the keep, which does mean he's going to have to pull back. Got a lot of damage done, but that's pretty even trades. And when you're playing into the economy of core, that is going to definitely be in his favor, rather than Gento's, who's just playing on a stock standard normal eco. 71 bills, Beasty on 52, so we can see how much damage he took as well. And his Mongol, that feels pretty awful. There's not a lot you can sort of bring back there. They're going to clean this up, of course. The Camel Riders are pretty squishy into the archers. So these are going to clean up everything here, not a problem. It's not quite the same as Camel Lancers from a Ubid, which act more as normal knights. For Abbasid, their normal knights are just Lancers. Whamenqt is still trying to do their bit. Good little quick wall there from Jigly, but not quite getting the end of it. That's unfortunate. Could have committed to it, I think. Maybe thought he had it up. And as a result, this Whamenqt will get out. Jigly has got some food on this side. And now we see the keep going back up again. But oh my gosh, they really need to secure this side of it. But the military count has just swung so much. And even though Beastie's eco is pretty shocking. Are we on pastures yet? We're just adding them in now. We only got 6. So the food eco is really going to struggle actually for Beastie for a while here. Was not able to get out here to secure this food, which does feel bad, and a good job for Jigly to deny that, because that could have been a game changer in itself. Core's almost got enough money for Imperial, and I'm not sure if this is by intent in the slightest. In fact, the fact he keeps giving money away, it's definitely not. He's just unable to spend it all because of how much he has coming in. Definitely can relate to when your eco is so good, but like so good in a way that you're not used to. And it's like how much production do I need to be able to deal with this? So the good thing, at least in this situation, is he can hand it over to Jigly, who's in desperate need of any money he can get. But in this case, even without that food going over to Jigly, he can't spend it on anything because he doesn't have the infrastructure to do it. And even the infrastructure that he does have is got a bunch of units sitting on top of it. So all these mounted samurai, which are just going to be coming out, are just going to be instantly dying to all of this. Which is not what they want to do when they're really struggling to get enough military might. I'm actually surprised to see them go straight for the juggler on the TC, but I mean, it looks like they are going to get it down. The fight comes in now. It won't save the TC, but we might just see a straight up scrap, as we do have a raid in the back from Core as well. So this isn't his full army. We'll see if they can actually get it or not. The archers, if they attacking the wrong units, could be detrimental to them, but there are so many spearmen and the camel riders here that really they can just attack move. As long as these knights can stay alive, they were going to be okay, but there's more camel riders coming in here. I'm just going to quickly look at the raid there, running through from Core, a bunch of camel riders. They are getting a lot of damage done. The archer count staying alive, which is really good for them, but still struggling to get a lot of kills in here, as we see a lot of volleys go off on the horsemen. The camel riders are few and far between, which aren't making too much of a difference, and there's still a big spearman count. And the spearman actually doing so much more damage in a situation like this because of the phalanx. All those body blocking, or the sort of sim city of the buildings there, meaning with the phalanx upgrade, just not that big of a deal. And all of these are going to get cleaned up. Even just these couple of mounted samurai will be able to clean all of this up, let alone the spearmen as well. Core giving wood and stone to Jigly, which is going to be for extra TCs, which he so desperately needs. I'm not sure if they'll realize just how badly damaged Beastie is, at least in this. That is something of a saving grace, and particularly with going from Whamenqt behind all that, who are now all dead, by the way. Got some damage done, but not able to really contribute anything else. Oh no. Why is my game stopped? Tell me this is me crashing and not the game crashing. This must be me crashing, right? Because the game's still going. And we might have to bring this back up. Shit, sorry team. I mean, this game must be over, no? It looks like it was a crash. Beastie crashed? Oof. Yeah, Beastie crashed. We have an admin's decision. And it is Core and Jigly win. And I think that's, yeah, very fair. Good job, Tommy, for figuring that one out. So Core and Jigly take that one, and Gento and Beasty lose again. So we've got Jigly and Core. I'll flip them over because I think they're Gento and Jigly are more, or Gento and Beasty. I'm not going to get confused again like I did last game. Jigly is a dork, is Beasty. Excuse me saying his name, also saying an insult. Is Beasty and teamed with Gento, and they're changing colors on us as well, which is maybe that's a little bit of psychological warfare here. Core, the only one sticking with the same color, and our Beasty has lost his yellow to Jigly as well. It's all over the shop. But I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. We see, as we start out the game, with what matchups do we have? We've got Gento opposite Jigly, so the Jeanne d'Arc opposite the Sengoku, and then we've got Core in the orange on the French opposite the Ubid player in Beasty. So Beasty's got quite fortunate here with his spawn, to be honest, if he's going to be the one that looks to go castle. He's got a nice defensible gold in the back. Even this little wood line. But really it's just being able to secure this up. Even you could even wall up here. The berries off to the side means he can get these up nice and quick. Core going on to the deer early, knowing, well, basically for Jiggly and Core, they can take the map as much as they want, I think, to start with here. Poor Gento, not quite as lucky as Beasty. The gold out in the front, and of course on Himayama, it's also outside of the TC range. And that means that Matsuri is also burnable from outside TC range, which is very, very vulnerable if he is looking to go castle. And we could see a repeat of last game where it was Jigglypuff trying to get up to castle and Sengoku and just really struggling to be able to do so, losing basically all he had early on. And I think he did eventually get to castle age, but before the crash at least. But it was not looking super good. But I think Beastie will be happy with this one. And let's see how quickly we look to go up and turn the screws to put some aggression on. Jiggly, first one to go up here. Opting in, of course, School of Cavalry, but opting to go up with 4 villagers, including JD herself. So it's a really fast age up there. Core taking his time a little bit because he's gone out onto the deer straight away, which means his will be a little bit behind, but economically he'll be okay going behind it. And of course, did he go for the wheelbarrow? He did. So he's gone survival techniques and wheelbarrow, go for that extra eco to edge out. I don't actually know if that's good or not when you're really trying to get across as fast as you can, because it does slow down your timing a bit, but it's by a matter of like seconds or tens of seconds rather than more than that. At least if you get wheelbarrow, that's the case. I'm not sure the time difference if you go out on deer and then you get survival techniques and wheelbarrow, especially when your deer is that far away. It's maybe it delays them a little bit more, but we'll see. Of course, the knight come out from Jiggly very, very quickly, although I think he's not going to have enough food with this split to get the no, is he forced drop off? Is he going to get enough? I don't know. I think maybe a little bit too much there with the timing. Maybe he's still not queued up a bill, and I mean a knight, and now he does. So yeah, maybe not the cleanest, but I understand the intent there. Trying to really rush up and get that first knight out as quick as possible. Yeah, foregoing the wheelbarrow, he'll get that very soon, but foregoing that to start with. On the other side, we do have even Gento looking to secure up defensively with a tower on the gold. Just one to start with, but I wouldn't be surprised to see more. Beastie has gone up with the logistics. So looking to defend with dervishes. As we see Uber do so much, whether it be a 1v1 or a team game. And it's just so difficult to be able to punish and get much in the way of damage done at all. And we don't even see a tower or anything coming in from Beasty, although he does have 8 onto wood. So he's not looking to just risk it. He is going to be a bit more careful with respecting the double French, which with enough knights and not enough spears on defensively, they can just, I mean, you start going up to castle, or even you just hit castle, and they can just dive and kill everything. So it's kind of a little bit like a one trick pony, if you excuse the pun there for Jigly and Core. It's going to be a shit ton of knights, and it's going to be looking to kill him basically before they can get up. Gento, we can see, yeah, the second tower is coming down, so very much looking to secure that up and get himself up. We see now Beasty pulling a little bit more off of wood, looking to go double stables. So Desert Raiders is going to be on the menu as a way to counter out the 1,000,000 knights about to be coming. Yeah, we see the commitment to double stables out of Core, and we just got the one for JD now, opting to go for Blacksmith first. And are we making a house? Core? Power building a house now. That was pop locked for quite a while, to be honest with you. And not quite making there either, so a little bit down. But it looks like it's pretty even in terms of eco anyway. I don't think these small things are really going to matter that much. No, there's enough sheep under there, isn't it? We're okay for Gento looking to get up to castle. It's got his wood now. I'm not looking for anything else. A couple wood villages are just going to make their way to gold, as it's purely no production, just the the 2 towers with emplacements and fortification, which they won't be able to get burnt down. It just won't happen with those fortifications, and it could do so just by buying stone as well. Did he mine it? No, he's can just get it from the gold passive. Didn't even need to buy it from the market either. JD and Knights out across, looking to get the scouts, which would be huge if they could get it, but it's not. Doesn't look like it's going to be feasible. Even JD's firing an arrow, but still not able to get it. And as long as Gento and Beasty keep an eye on these armies and don't take a shit ton of damage, they're going to be totally fine. And in fact, with all of this, we do see Gento putting down the Sake Brewery, and with the Knights not ready to pounce on this, this is actually really big for them. The window to do damage is not ended. There is still that opportunity. And now we see them coming in, but how much he's managed to get? Oh, just 127 plus this, so maybe like oh, they're not going to get back actually. One dies. The other one does survive. This tower did not get the fortification, so it might go down, but deciding, okay, no, the castle age is coming up. We need to dive. We need to dive now. Yata is there, but those are pretty tanky in the end. JD running around. These villages are the thing that's going to want to be targeted, especially if they can keep them off this age up. Might see a little bit of juggling there. Yep, Garrison juggling. Very nice from Gento, and then these ones can pull away to the landmark. Nope, not going to happen. I don't think we've got wheelbarrow either, because they are moving slow. We've got level 1 wheelbarrow, but not the second. And now we've got the Knights fighting up against the Desert Raiders, who do a great job, especially with the Dervishes healing behind it, but it's not going to be enough to stand up to it. We've got the ranged armor in for Jigly and the ranged armor in for Core, so they're pretty happy staying underneath this, but behind all of this damage, it is going to be quite tough. And this is where all the micro really comes in, about trying to get every little bit you can, especially the damage out of the Knights and not losing Knights. Of course, Chivalry and the JD heal can come in clutch to help this. And this is another time where it's just reactions and micro. Oh, Core did a good job to click on the right one to get out, but then unfortunately wasn't able to get the attack off before pulling those Knights back out. So it doesn't get the extra build kill. Fighting straight up against the Desert Raiders, but you can see enough damage out of the Knights to actually kill. So the more and more of them that go down, the bigger it is. It's definitely well worth it. And we see more juggling there. This is not too many of those bills are going down. I think a handful for sure, but honestly, Gento's honestly feeling like he can just survive. The Age of is going to come in. He doesn't have any production behind it, though, to actually get started. He's going to have the first stables, and he's going to be able to slowly add some in, but there's no gold to speak of, and the eco has been idle for so long. So there is really, really good damage from Jigly and Core to slow Gento down, but Beasty next to him is aging up as well. Whereas for both Jiggly and Core, there's no two ways about it. They've got to commit, and double down, triple down. It's still the case that they're producing, but I think the ecos at home maybe not looking the prettiest. We've got 3 stable effectively from Core. We've got just the 2, a third one coming down for Jiggly, wanting to spend as much as possible. I think we might have a couple of consecrations in the bank there as well that haven't gone down. No, I guess not. Or maybe we can't see the charges, I'm not sure. But really wanting to have both those stables with 3 stables there. Still getting some pickups on the Desert Raiders. Are we going to see... We see just more Desert Raiders in queue rather than Camel Lancers. And it's the Mounted Samurai now, which are slowly coming to come out as Gento does stabilize. And with the Sake Brewer giving so much of that gold, and just being able to as long as he can constantly produce, I think with this economy he's even going to be able to add another stables here. And unfortunately, Beasty does find poor Jiggly's villagers with the Desert Raiders, who were running to set up the dare, and like we saw in a previous game as well, the tower doesn't actually get to go up, which feels awful if you're Jiggly, and then having to run through his teammate's base to berries as a John Dark player, which feels a bit gross. And then on this side, looking to get some pressure in the front. If we switch, we can see JD's experience here. Oh, not even halfway, which feels shit too. Beast's doing a good job keeping the pressure on and the Dervish alive. And I dare say that Beasty and Gento have survived that fuel aggression, and are now going to be able to put some pressure on the other side of the map. It's not all over. Hey, Lost Pygo, mate. How you doing? Yeah, and then even again, the tower's trying to go up, but Beasty is able to get there and not only force away the food eco from Core, but actually kill what's probably going to be at least 4 villagers, if not the whole lot of them. I think that is going to be 6. I actually think he had there, which is going to go down. One does survive to tell the tale, but that is incredibly rough situation. As although all the numbers look even for the 2 teams, it's such a huge lead for Beasty and Gento with the tech advantage and the quality of the armies, with all these Desert Raiders very much raiding, and now the Mounted Samurai count coming up as well, with double stables producing. It makes such a huge difference. Hey, Lost Pygo, thanks for raiding, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, didn't realize you're streaming. Hope you had a good one, man. And I hope if people stick around to enjoy this Worst Team Gamer. This is game 2 of the second set. We're going to have 3 sets, all play all 3, where these 4 players switch teammates between each best of 3, and the player who has the most map wins at the end of it is crowned our victor. In this case, we've got Gento in green on the Sengoku with it's Beasty, who is Jiggly as a dork, and the teal up against Core and Jigly in the orange and yellow French and French variant, respectively. And these Feudal Age, JD goes down on our side. That feels awful. Still so far away from level 3. Does bio back though. But these knights cannot fight these Desert Raiders. And on this side of the map, in this sort of 1v1, just these handful. 4 Mounted Samurai plus the Daimyo really aren't too scared of those Royal Knights, and it's only going to go more and more in Gento's favor on that side as well. In fact, he's got even more Mounted Samurai which will come on this side. He's got 8 in total. 8 and then 20 Desert Raiders alongside of it. Yikes. Whereas poor Jiggly and Core continue to double, triple, quadruple down on making knights out of multiple stables. But this is why, like we said right at the start, it was always going to be an uphill battle for them, opting into playing the two French civs is that they needed to get it done in feudal. They needed to get it done by killing at least one of the opponents before they could settle into the Castle Age. And unfortunately for this, they did get, unfortunately for Jigly and Core, they were able to get a lot of damage down onto Gento in his base. And you see a lot of idle villages there for him right now. But it wasn't enough to deal the coup de grace, the killing blow on the guy, and he was able to bounce back. And now we see the Mounted Samurai and Daimyo count. Although he really needs to get these guys on food. In fact, there's no food to go to, so much so that he's going to put them onto wood. Not a farm in sight, and 2 berry patches left with 200 food total is not going to be sufficient. So this is an opening. If the eco can't get sorted out from Gento, it will give them a little bit of a way in. In this case, we see the dive come in. As Beasty's army's not here yet, we can see it coming on the right of our screen, but it does mean some damage is going to be able to come down onto Gento's economy, and some more experience go over to JD. But even this amount of Desert Raiders and Mounted Samurai is going to be so much of a tall task for these poor Feudal Age Royal Knights, which we've all seen do so much damage, even in this game. But against this strong Castle Age army, it's a completely different story. And now they take a straight up fight. I mean, Jiggly and Core know they need to get something done. They know what needs to happen. With Beasty finally ticking up to the Castle Age here. I thought he was Castle Age before, to be honest with you. But I guess it was a bug with the previous age up. And JD running away, the army getting cleaned up. And yeah, whether he's Castle Age or not, it's all she wrote. We hear the first surrender. We see the second surrender. And that's GG. Beasty and Gento take game 2 and tie it up at 1 game apiece in this play all 3. So if those weren't, or who weren't watching before, the first game was a crash. Beasty crashed in the first game, but Beasty and Gento were sort of losing in a way where they'd done a lot of damage to Jigly, but there was a core on a 3 TC Abbasid, which was growing out of control. But it was a 23 minute into the game, crash rather, and they took that one. And I think Beasty and Gento took that one personally and came back with a vengeance. I don't like being critical of players better than me, and these 4 players are better than me. Jigly, yeah, I think Jigly is. I don't tell him, but I think he is better than me. But I do have to. I'd be a bit skeptical about the double French pick. So it's a pick 3 or draft 3 civs and your opponent snipes 1 situation. They drafted JD, French, and Japanese. And I think it was a pretty easy choice for Beasty and Gento to get rid of the the Japanese in that situation. All right, we're going over to the drafts. I'm getting my production sorted, everybody. Live drafts. Excuse all the tabs. We were looking at DLC stuff. All right. So it is Beasty and Gento on our right-hand side, and it's Core and Jiggly on the left. We've got China coming in first, and a Holy Roman pick first for Beasty and Gento. Definitely a pocket pick for Beasty, but not one I was expecting. And not one I necessarily believe they think is the strongest pick. But this third game, it is on mega random. And what we saw from the first set was the mega random had a lot of water on it. And being able to, or the civ that struggled the most was the French civ, who was furthest away from water and then wasn't really able to secure any docks themselves. So maybe the extra versatility of the civilizations on Mega Random is far more of a strength than it would be on both Dry Arabia or Himeyama. So in this case, we've got Holy Roman, Japanese, and Jeanne d'Arc for Beasty and Gento, and Jiggly and Core with the Chinese, the Byzantine, Jiggly's pocket pick, and the Ubid, who have proven to be so strong in all of these team games. And as I'm sure many people have experienced in their own games on the ladder as well. Those camels being such a counter to the inevitable heavy cavalry in whatever form they come in, be it Mounted Samurai, Royal Knights, fucking Keshik's Cataphracts, Radari, dare I say. So we see the U-Bids banned out, or sniped out. Not too surprising there. But then Japanese on the other side being, yeah, probably the strongest of the civs. I thought maybe Gento, but I think I'd mega random. That combination does make some sense to get rid of, but it does mean Gento and Holy Roman Empire definitely have more synergy in a typical fight. Typical 2v2 matchup, but the map can throw in such a spanner. And particularly looking at Chinese and Byzantine, like if Byzantine has to play on water, for example, with the Dromons, doesn't feel great. So we'll jump in and see if they're ready to go. All right, let's get into it. So it's 1-1. We're all tied up. Got Gento and Beasty in the green and the teal this time. Beasty named Jigly as a dog. Very helpful from an observation point of view, but an understandable name choice from the man himself, of course. It's hard to fault him for his opinions. But then we have on the other side actual Jigglypuff in the yellow Byzantine and a core on the orange Chinese. And we look already at the map spawn, and I think it's even worse than last game. And if Beasty and Gento fuck this one up, I think they will be kicking themselves. And Core and Jiggly will be laughing all the way for the rest of the night, regardless of how the rest of the games go. Is there anything else of note in the spawn? I mean, nobody's got really screwed over with their resource. I mean, Gento's gold is an age away, which is pretty awful. So is Beastie's, to be honest with you. Whereas this one's tucked away a little bit more safely. This one is almost even under TC. But we're not going to see any of that Dark Age aggression anyway. This is kind of awful. I am gonna flip the UI just because I feel like there's slightly more rights. Gento and Beastie, but the up and down spawns, I apologize for that, for the UI. So we just see the one, which I think Jiggly did this before as well. Liking to go just the one villager on stone to slowly add in the cisterns, but really wanting to go for the fast castle and the gulp build, which he is oh so famous for. And we did see that last series as well. Not entirely sure what we're going to see out of Core, but I think it's going to be a pretty straightforward situation for both Gento and Beastie, who have a literal endless supply of fishing that they can play with. This is only 3, that's not yet, it's only shoreline. So nothing to play with. I mean, there's not even shoreline on the side. And the cliffs make it a bloody nightmare too. And poor Jiggly has absolutely nothing. So this is going to be a rough one, to be honest with you. I think from the start, not that I would be rooting for anybody, but I already feel like there's an underdog story here. If Jiggly and Core can find a way to pull this one out. Gento is honestly playing on a French civ, whether it be JD or French. You feel like you want to go and do damage in the feudal age. This is a situation where he doesn't have to do any damage at all. They just have to survive, keeping their fishing going. HRE, I mean, we can see why Beastie did look to pick it. It's if this situation arose, which very fortunate for him has, it puts him in a great situation. He's even got like a really good arc in here as well. To be able to secure himself up if he chooses to go for that. But honestly, even Whamenqt, it's still such a huge advantage. Whereas it's just all, this may as well be like a land map playing against a water map, really. And we'll see quite how that turns out, I think. I'm interested to see whether they know. And yeah, Core has seen it for sure. Looking at his vision here, and yeah, it's they've even scouted out this little pond here. They haven't quite seen what's in their back to see if maybe there's their own water back there, but I I've got terrible news, guys. It's not going to be the case. And on the flip side, yeah, Beasty and Gento have scouted everything as well. So they know there is no water there for their opponents. Which means they know, in their case, for Gento and Beasty, it's just about surviving and really nothing else. Build-wise, for keeping a couple on gold here implies he would be going for the professional scouts, which normally feels good, but when you normally want to go professional scouts, it's to give yourself a economic advantage over your opponent, being able to secure up all the food and your opponent not being able to. In this case, it is not going to have the same effect in the slightest. Gento now looking to go up. And actually, Beasty, it's not looking in a rush at all. He must have a second dock, no? Yes. Oh, third dock even. Right. Okay. I was wondering why he was still a ways away. Are we gonna see the pro scouts, or are we gonna see units? Oh, we see pro scouts right away. So there's not even anything that's going to be stopping this. And out of Jigly, are we going to just see a straight up fast castle? Nothing else? I mean, there's surely you... No, we are going to see Mercenary House. So he's committing to what he was doing before, which is probably going to be the Keshix, although he is very, very close to Gento. So some longbows actually is not a bad idea here. In fact, I think longbows, if you can go limits in a longbow, it could actually stop him off gold a little bit, at least temporarily, but likely to be Keshix as he wants to go for that gulp build. Are we going to see them come in yet? We'll keep an eye on that one. Arcade now coming up, yeah, in that sort of nice spot we saw, and it is going to be the Keshix. I was going to say let's not fix what's not broke, but I don't know if that's necessarily how it went last time. Good job from Jigly to stop the wall if he's able to. Gento can pull more to wall around, but because it is so close, and he can just bring more villagers, but he might not want to run the risk or have the extra investment. But if the Keshix are able to get here in time and they are able to get in, that will be something at least. But just clocking in on where we are, 6 minutes 25 seconds into the game, and there is an almost 20 worker economy. Oh, he got the kill on it. When it starts, the first hit, if you get the timing just right, is enough to take it down, and he does. I think it's not that much wood, is it? Well, 25, which is a bit rough. But it's not going to mean he's going to lose out any more than that, as he will be able to get the wall up shortly thereafter. Or chasing the scout with a horseman, but like this is completely uncontested. There's so much fishing for Beasty on this one. He's got 46 economy. Even Gento is sitting pretty. He doesn't need to be too greedy and double triple down. But Beasty has got everything he could possibly want. Doing so safely with Spearman behind it. Definitely respecting the damage that can come in, but is still going to have such a quick timing to get up to castle edge, and without taking any damage and having all that eco behind it. Not even able to get the kill, but maybe that's a good thing, as we're kind of rooting for Jigly and Core to have some kind of a chance in this game. But the macro really is in for Beasty to get up to castle, and then everything is in his power to do whatever he likes. Jigly now, I mean, even adding in the groves normally just feels good for Byzantine because you get the olive oil going. It's gonna help your heavy calf production with all of the Keshix and the cataphracts that are gonna come in the castle age, but it doesn't. A little bit of experience coming in. If we can keep this alive, that's no, not right. Okay, I was gonna say it's pretty big and pretty rude for Gento to win these little skirmishes while getting all the advantage behind it as well. Is Core pro scouting these deer first? I mean, there's heaps of deer. Oh no, there's only one here. He did get these ones. This pack as well as one that he can go for, but maybe the spearmen have already pushed him away, which would be, yeah, all these little things which just add up for Beasty and Gento. Jiggly is going up. Did we see the cistern? Yeah, cistern in the first hill. So it is the gold build, and we see stables coming down. So it's going to be exactly what we expected. There's no surprises with the build. I'm not sure if there's too much else that's going to help it, and I'm not sure. Like similarly, like 2TC song with China feels great. I think it is a good shout from Core to, like, you know, do your best with what you have. You have to boom. And they didn't really have an opportunity to just like feud it all in. But I don't see anything that exactly feels good for either of them. It doesn't really matter much of this at all. In fact, Gento being able to get this much damage done on Jiggly, who is trying to get up. I mean, 32 Vils on Byzantine to 42. No, it's 42 eco, so that's going to be including the boats, isn't it? In that statistic. Oof. It's losing. Even with the Akratoy. It's not gonna. Did he pop it? I don't know. I'm not sure I actually saw it. But it's a lot of knights that are gonna slowly go down. But this is just already the idle time and the damage. Getting up. The castle's not even up yet either. There's 3 on it, and they are gonna eventually get it up. But even if all these knights die and they don't get another kill, which is not the case, another kill, another kill, another kill, and already, I mean, like, the fishing eco, don't get me wrong, it is paying off. It's not the case that this is not impacted by that, but it's really all over Rover from that sort of damage as well. So Jiggly's only way out is going to be the power of these cataphracts. With the Gulp, these Royal Knights aren't really going to be able to kill them. But this is so much eco, like poor Jiggly in previous games as well, taking so much eco damage. Down to 24 villages, 23, and this one is not long for this world either. I know there's some stuff sort of happening on the other side, but really this is, I mean, it's painful to watch. I kind of do want to watch something else. There's not enough room in the tower, and there's no, and the TC has been 15 out of 15 for the last 3 minutes. And on the other side, Core can't even come to help. Not always. Okay. If people watch the first game, that ended up being a crash, and Core and Jiggly did win. Core went 3 TC ABBA. Jiggly got his shit pushed in, and then they slowly were able to turn it around. And eventually win, even though the game crashed to like 23 minutes. They were able to survive and definitely be way ahead at that point. But poor Jiggly was just left to the wolves. That wasn't a normal land map, even as they like. And Core was still trying his best to send Spearman over to help, but Jiggly was still really, really struggling. This is throwing him to the wolves, and then just kicking his poor dead body in repeatedly, even more so than your opponents are doing. Poor Jiggly. I mean, to Core's point, to his defense, I'm not sure there's much he could do to help Jiggly in this situation anyway, but this really is giving it all up and just going to try to survive yourself and effectively 1v2 this game as a result. But the 3 TCs and fighting against water eco rather than the more even land matchup they had previously, it's just not going to be the results or the heroics that Core was able to pull out previously. I really don't see any way in which he's going to be able to break out to stop any of this or be able to get the eco required to do so. Poor Jiggly is still being bullied by Gento, who's actually macroing up for castle, which I'm actually a little bit surprised for. I think he really could have just kept doing this for as long as he liked. Beasty is going to slowly but surely just bring this down over time with pure men-at-arm and siege. Yeah, the workers get pulled to get the rams, which is necessary. I think that keeping the TCs up is one, or having that full, as big of an eco boom as possible is the thing that's going to be a saving grace, if anything possibly could. But there's still so many villas which are dying to all of this. Even the slow attacks from men-at-arms. The Castle Age is coming in with the Clock Tower, which is going to be, I mean, it's nice to have the extra, or the stronger siege, but in this case, it's not really going to help you get out of your base, and it's certainly not going to help you help poor old Jigly either. But he will solidify and get there. The Rams go, which means that the TC will survive another day. JD is still not even halfway. The Cataphracts actually do a decent amount of damage there with the trample, which is nice. And maybe if they can pick off JD, I'm not sure they're going to quite have enough damage if she can garrison. She does jump in. And Gento did go up to Castle Age behind that as well. So these are going to be leveled up. Not yet, though. Wanting to pull those away. Oh my gosh, there's so many of these min-arms. They do have +2 range defense, by the way. They're not taking very much damage to these Troubadour at all. We've not been upgraded yet either. But basically, he's got 2 1v1s where one of our players is entirely dead. Here we go, the Veterancy comes in now. They'll do a lot more damage, but they only hit the +1 attack, not +2, which means they lose effectively 3 damage on each shot as the ranged armor comes in and the attack comes in. For all 3 hits individually of those little crossbows, or repeating crossbows. And yeah, even if it gets cleaned up, there's still so much damage coming in. Jigly's doing a good job on the other side to get something and to push him back. Or even Lanchnick's coming out, which is kind of wild. I guess when you have everything going for you, you can kind of do whatever the hell you want. And in this case, I mean, the Lanchnicks, they're a bit of a meme for sure, but they actually, you know, when you have all the gold in the world, and you are being able to get as many hits off as you want, it does go a hell of a long way towards upping that DPS, which is otherwise quite slow or quite low from the slow hitting min-arms, even the HRE ones. And if these Lanchnicks can get hits off, or if he survives, they're running away. Is he going to turn and fight? It's literally on 1 HP. Please survive, Lanchnick. Please. Oh my god, poor guy. And we see Beasty clicking. Oh my god, that's so much damage. Is there another one in there? Oh man, if they were able to split off ever so slightly and catch them going back to the TC. But they do get so much damage. I love Lanchnick. It's my favorite unit in the game by far. And yeah, and Core unable to hold on. You know, Jigly, I think he did a good job trying to come back in and fight his 1v1. But yeah, there's no chance at all. I mean, we're praying for some kind of a challenge from poor Core and Jigly on this map spawn, but like there's just absolutely no chance. Like I sympathize. It feels like, you know, what a waste of 17 minutes trying to play that game out. But if anyone was yeah, unsure about the power of a water economy and how that translates into the ebb and flow of a match, there you have it. Beasty just, I mean, insane. HRE eco, Ninja able to just like clean up relics, pump in arms, make rams. It's like the simplest game plan in the world. I would actually love to see like maybe this is something for like Beasty to do sometime, but like a 1v1 against lower rank player. I'm not sure what rank would be good, but where they're on like full deep sea fishing and he's on land only eco, and see how good of a player he can beat in that situation. Oh boy, it was tough. And we could see like, yeah, poor Jigly just getting dove while trying to get up his Castle Age, and just, yeah, really struggling. Gento not only in his face making it also hard, but also going castle behind it, which feels even worse because it feels like you're getting your shit pushed in and then you're getting taunted about it, like they're doing it with, you know, with one arm behind their back sort of thing. He did a good job, I think, to come out and sort of like, you can see the military count from Jiggly sort of coming up and challenging Gento, even though obviously his economy was superior with the fishing. So there's like a moral victory for Jiggly, especially since he was also just like abandoned by his teammate. But otherwise there's not really much to hold on to there for the poor guys. All right, hello, it's me. Cheers, guys. Happy Easter Eve, Good Friday Eve. Cheers. Last set, here we go. All right. Yeah, 3 games to go. All right. Boop. Okay, let's get the fuck into it, boys. Let's go up to live. We don't need to see anything crazy. We see the Matsuri on the wood. That's the first thing that I notice. And we've got Beasty changing his name again, but it's not going to catch me out twice. Wait, did I say Friday Eve? What did I say? Yeah, Friday Eve. Like it's Good Friday Eve because it's Thursday. That's right. I've misspoke about 12 times today, but I think that was one where I meant it. Anyway, we got Gento as a sniping dork, which is our Beasty, with the Japanese and the Spearman Dark Age Rush, of course. Paired up with Jigly on French, probably his most comfortable and successful serve that we've seen him on in the tournament tonight. In the green on the bottom left, and then as we go across the map to our other team in the matching blues, it's Gento of the Macedonian Dynasty, which I think he played actually last series as well, in the blue, and in the slightly less blue or lighter blue, cyan, teal, whatever is your pick, we've got the all-powerful Sengoku Daimyo, played by our very own Core7525 on Discord for coaching. Opting to go onto the wood rather than the gold. I actually like this, generally speaking, to be honest. I think it is a little bit worse economically, but of course in this case it makes a lot of sense because of how far away that gold is. Poor Core. But it's never bad to have it on your wood anyway. Having it in the front is kind of sucky, but having it on the wood itself is not so bad. The Spearmen looking to deny the Yatai and see what damage they can get done, whether it be on the gold or something else. Coming across to Gento in the end and looking to power build a tower as the choice of defense. I mean, definitely not anticipating a tower rush from Beasty, in which case a tower is a good defense, but it's a lot of idle time is the point I'm trying to make here, which already feels in Beasty's situation like you've got value out of the situation. That Spearman has somehow survived, and if it does, it's actually going to be, yeah, these three Spearmen are going to be a little bit annoying here too. Going to be able to push these off gold with three of them and potentially push the Yatai back thereafter, which is quite a lot. So, or getting damage done on one player, which that was genuine damage for sure, and then coming across and doing it on the other, when you as the Japanese player don't care at all about investing into the barracks and the spears, this feels totally fine, especially if you're looking to fast castle, which I assume almost surely Beasty will be doing because he has that French teammate. And then he gets damage done on both of them for nothing. And this feels great when you're in Jigglypuff's situation too, because he can now freely go out and play into the feudal, knowing he's got that little bit of an advantage built in from the jump as well. So you can't ask for much better of a start from Beasty and Jiggly, and particularly because they've got a pairing that synergizes so well and so simply with a fast casting Japan and a feudal knighting French. It does feel like a really great, comfortable, simple position to kickstart this first game of the series, of our last series of play all three. Now, I did want to say scores before, right? I did see they were updated. So, our scoreboard going into these last three games, of which we will have all three. Map count, we've got Beasty on 5 map wins. Shit, that means he's only dropped 1, and there was a crash. But he was going to lose anyway. Core with 4, Poor Jiggly with 1, and Gento on 2, which I realize is not in order the way I said it now. But Beasty, Core, Gento, and then poor old Jiggly with 3 to go. So Jiggly can't win the poor guy, but he can at least tie Core by winning all 3 games here, and Gento still has a chance of winning or tying for first if they win all 3 games here. So there's still everything to play for, in these 3 games, but every map counts. Sorry to miss what was going on there. The Dark Age, dude, the fact that these spearmen are still getting value, and the amount of value that they've got with the tower idle time, the damage, the forcing of the gold, the killing, the forge. Didn't push off this Yatai, but honestly didn't really need to. It's insane for such little investment from Beasty. This just feels so good for Beasty and Jigly. And now is finally pushing away the Yatai. So just when you thought you had nothing going for you, you get more. Is going to lose these 2 spearmen. This Ryokan's not done. Oh, he garrisoned those villages for it as well. So even those spearmen, which were like left to just die, pushing back this Yatai, they still got even more value than they probably should have, because Core needed to pull, or decided to pull them. Probably in hindsight, wouldn't have wanted to, but pulled them back into the TC and delayed, idled and delayed that age up timing ever so much. Now you've got another villager. Oh my god, this is tough. This is really tough. The just amounts. And then Beasty's not even up yet. What is this villager doing? Not even up yet, and just doing all of this with purely Dark Age spearmen is yeah, one of the highest value Dark Age rushes I've seen in any game, any team game, any single game. I mean, you can't even get this much damage in a 1v1. That's how much is going here. Pulling all of this from Gento just for the start. Jigly gets a kill, and they're still having to come back out, and now they're pulling, right? There's so much idle time. Now the scouts even coming to join. Beasty could even turn and push these away. He does see it now. And then, yeah, Core's got to run away. This is so much damage caused by both these players. The food is going to be a real struggle. But just the eco as a whole, all that idle time, brings them back so much. And this, I mean, really nice from Jigly to get the collapse here. And it's so close to a trader as well. This is rough. And if this game does continue as it is, this will secure Beasty as top spot. Just with this 1 win, will mean Beasty is our worst team gamer champion. Does that make him the best worst team gamer? I'm not the one to say. But oh, and they're gonna get a Vil kill because of the pathing of the spearman. Oh my. That's a real tilter too. I know if anyone watches Core's stream, that is exactly the kind of thing that's gonna tilt the guy. Fair enough too. I do have to say that you can micro around it, but it's obviously having to do that rather than your villagers not being suicidal is obviously preferred. But yeah, unfortunately does lose a villager there, and of course is knocked off gold, which means we're not going to see Core being able to get up to the castle age, which is his entire game plan here was fast castling. On the other side, Gento is going up, but this is also something you don't want to see. Which is a Macedonian Golden Horn Tower in the back, not able to really protect sort of the front of your base or a more remote resource, or being able to help your teammate as well. So it becomes even more difficult for them to get much value out of that, at least out of positioning. The good thing is it is still a fantastic landmark, and those crossbows, those free crossbows will come in very handy. Now Core, he will definitely get enough to age up here from that pull, but what use is a castle age up if you've got no gold to then spend? Units, upgrades, what have you. So he's going to go up, he's going to go to the Sake Brewery. The Sake Brewery will give him gold. Is there enough space for all the mats? Yeah, because I can put 2 there, right? Well, you can put, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll be fine. Will give you gold, but it's definitely not enough in early castle to give you everything that you need. So it is going to still be a slow castle transition or a slow ramp up for poor Core. And Gento on the other side now is, with his castle age, is looking to try to solidify the side of the map. Obviously, making the Radari, it doesn't really... Oh, that tire's going to go down. Doesn't really matter what Beasty and Jigly make. The Radari is going to be the right call. But the thing about the Japanese, and we've seen this already today as well, is the... Yes, Onimusha. I was hoping I would click onto one of them. And that is going to do a great job over time against the Radari. Now, as Ford now gets up, he doesn't have any gold for now. I see he's got 5 or 7 clicked on. Are we going somewhere else? Are we going here? No, those weren't berries. He's just got the 5 on Matt's thing. Is that right? It's still 7 before. But maybe I've been misled. We've got Bills at a dive, and Bills going down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The fills up, and we aren't able to keep them alive. There's only a couple of units here. One Radari really is it. And the Onimusha have come to play, and wow, just like that. Just like that, we're going. GG. That was tough from minute 2 for Core and Gento. Yeah, it's the most devastating Dark Age rush I've seen. And with so little committed from Beasty as well. Really, really tough first game. And a big congratulations to our champion, even with 2 more games to go. That map win takes Beasty to 6. Which means, nope. He's not necessarily our winner yet. I take it back. I'm a liar. Core is on 4 map wins, which means if Core and Gento win the next 2 games, our last 2 games, then he will be tied with Beasty on 6 wins. So there's still everything to play for. There's still everything to play for. Let's look at oh, dude, I wish we had like the new UI and you could see like idle time and shit. But like even like Gento like losing stuff early. This was so even after Beasty did all the damage to both players with the Dark Age Japanese Spearman, Jigly came in with their first Feudal Knight and was able to get a kill. Nem was able to get another kill. They were then able to collapse on Yatai and kill Yatai, and all behind that, both Core and Gento were trying to go Castle Age, but it is in fact Beasty and that's able to go and get it more safely. Without having to struggle to get gold or anything of the sort. And Jigly is able to obviously do the French thing and commit hard and feudal. And it just goes to show how much how much of a difference that feudal French aggression, not needing to get the Castle Age, makes. But the draft, maybe we should talk about it, maybe not. There's no double French this time. That's good to see. Beasty and Jigly with, he's got the Byzantines in there for himself. Jigly Classic, and then Sengoku, which surely has to go. And Jeanne d'Arc as well. A Ubid, Mali, and French on the other side, which is a really good draft. The Ubid, Mali, and French. That's got to be one of the strongest sort of like cookie cutter 2v2 drafts we've seen. And just like that, we see probably the 2 strongest civs get sniped out, which is the Ubids for obviously the camels and their effect on heavy cav in particular. And then Sengoku, which is I was gonna say being a powerhouse, but like we've seen it lose a bunch as it's not being able to successfully get to Castle Age, which has been its downfall in a number of games. So yeah, we're gonna have Jeanne d'Arc and Byzantine for Beasty and Jigly, and then Mali and French, which is a really, really good combination for Gento and Core. So feeling a lot more optimistic for them on Himayama. Thanks, Quanny, man. Reinvest into production. Yeah, I should. Actually, I do have to say, I'll get into the game as I say, but and this might put you off subscribing, anybody, but I made a deal with my girlfriend, the lovely Grace, when I decided to start streaming more and playing more Age of Empires and really getting into it, because I was really enjoying it. I was like, I want to do more of this, and it took away from time that she and I would spend together. And this was before I was really like streaming much or streaming to anyone really. She said, any money that you make from it, you can do it, but any money you make from it is mine. And I said, deal. I'm never going to make any money, right? So I was like, deal. Handshake, all good. And then I think I've made like, in a couple years, like made like 35, 40 New Zealand, US dollars. Which, yeah, is actually all hers. Which, so I'm sorry. That went straight into the Grace Fund, Queenie. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. But it does mean I get to play a lot more. I've played so much more Age of Empires because of her letting me. Is really what I'm trying to say. How long did you play AoE? I played AoE as soon as it released. I didn't play beta. I looked at the beta and I was like, I think this is a bit shit, to be honest. But I was always looking out for like the next RTS because I love RTS games. And I honestly, since StarCraft 2, nothing is... I've been hyped up and let down so many times. But StarCraft, nothing was better than StarCraft 2. I went all in on Dawn of War 3, and it was the biggest letdown of my entire life. And I've never emotionally recovered. So I wasn't excited for Age of Empires 4 at all. And then it came out, and I was like, actually, dude, this game's fucking sick. And this was on release when it was, like, not great. And I've played ever since. Like, I don't know. I've got so many hours. I don't know. I play it a hell of a lot. But I mostly stream, so, like, I play more ranked, like, because of the ladder anxiety side of it. Which is the big motivator to doing that. Release was 4 years ago. It was around my birthday in 2020. No, 2022? 2021? Must be 2021. October 2021. So we're like 4.5 years? Does that math work? Yeah, it'll be 50th anniversary end of this year, I think. What? I'm not even watching the game, dude. What's going on? So we got. I mean, we kind of know what both players are gonna do. I mean, both teams are gonna do. All the players are gonna do. Interestingly, Beasty is looking to show Jigly how to actually play Byzantine. I guess is his take. He's got 3 on stone, which is the biggest difference from Jigly's build, and there'll be a lot of differences from there. But this is looking to get into cisterns more quickly rather than Jigly's 1 on stone, and just ever so slowly trickle them in. We're going to see the Grand Winery, I'm sure, but I'm not sure we're going to see the Gulp build. The biggest thing for me will be whether there's anything in Feudal Age from Beasty. But him being opposite Marley in particular, I think he's probably just going to look for the fast castle. And then Jigly, as he's done all night, is going to look to play into the French or French variants, and JD in this case, and play heavy into Feudal to support his good friend Beasty QT. Now this is a little bit different from Core, bringing out some strategies. So it's a higher-end trade network to come out to, I was going to say defend both golds and the deer. It's more so just this deer and gold, but at least the base being in between is some kind of indirect defense, even if it's not covering it. I'm not entirely sure how much value this will have, but being between the two teammates' bases, and particularly after Core is at a couple games now of completely abandoning his teammate, maybe this is something of an olive branch, which I rate. And it's nice to see something a little bit different, even if it isn't as greedy. So we have the Saharan trade network, but not on the Mali's home gold as we usually would see it used. Gento aged up with 5, so really looking to get up quick and pump out that first night. Much better on French doing this, or feels much better doing this on French than it does on JD. The other thing to note with Gento's build is he has not gone for the Dark Age or early wheelbarrow, so it's going to have it out ever so slightly faster. And then try to get as much out as he can. But it's going to be, in this case, we've got Gento's French on sort of matched up and kind of in the lanes of Himayama. The sort of pseudo 1v1s against Jigly's JD. Now we see 3 coming up on the Grand Winery, and we've got only 2 on gold for now, and plenty going for wood. So I think Beasty is not in a rush. He's going to look to play it safe. And the other thing we'll keep an eye on, of course, is the Cow Boom and how boomy Core looks to go. And we've got the second pit mine coming in. Just on the intermediate gold. Not coming all the way out here. And this is going to be interesting to see what the decision is with the deer. And whether we actually see villagers come out here early on or not, to be honest. Otherwise, we're going to see a bit of posturing. We'll see if there's any damage in, both to charge each other. It's like being at the Ren Fair and having the joust go off. But just hitting shields. Both players willing to take the damage, which is kind of an interesting one. As with that low damage, you're not going to be able to, or that low health, you're not going to be able to heal that up for a little while this early in the game, which means it does sort of take both those knights out of some of the action. Probably benefits... No, I don't think it really benefits JD early with the heal ability. It's you don't really want to use it just for a night or two. Okay, we are going to see Gento come across to secure up those deer, that core so kindly provided. So first little bit of like synergy and teamwork I think we've seen all night, to be honest with you. Oh, a villager does go down. Oh, I take it back what I said about the low HP. They can still do plenty of work. Beasty with the -1 already. And Gento getting his revenge. Especially with the name, Beasty's name change targeting him directly. Fair fuck enough, to be honest with you. And we're still going to see the single stables and a very safe one from a sort of a safe choice from Gento. Not producing knights. Where's our food? I guess the walkout took quite a while, and we did it without wheelbarrow as well. But the problem with going out on deer, like making that transition to deer when you don't have that much at home, is you do sort of sacrifice some production time to do that. But he is going to manage. How many? This is 10 slots. He could have sent another 5 villagers, by the way. I feel like it's maybe a waste not to do that. This one's still chasing away. And we do see Beasty. Like I mentioned, I think being a bit more safe, a little bit more respectful, knowing that the Byzantine scaling is very, very good. It's not quite the same as Mali, both in how it scales and the way it scales. But very, very strong nonetheless, and particularly with the matchup and sort of backing yourself, I feel like it's fine. Yeah, I do feel like we have seen from this series. Oh, I missed him coming in. Another tower blueprint without the tower. And we see 2 go down and a bunch of idle time. The amount of times we have seen today tower blueprints just sitting there uncompleted when the knights come in really goes to show like it is a game of like fine margins of seconds of difference between damage, really significant damage, and probably not going to be able to get anything at all. But we've seen that a number of times from all of our players, I think. Good knight pick up there, assuming Jigly can get that one home, which I'm sure he can. But yeah, we've seen, I mean, I think Beasty has been a cut above the rest. The multitasking and raiding for sure, but I actually think that the biggest difference that Beasty has shown, it was from the first series, was maybe the biggest indicator. But it is purely like decision making. Like his ability to make the units he needs to make to counter, to scout and react, to always be really, really safe while getting the most out of what he wants to get. Like even like something like this, like how many players are going to be sure as to whether they can go out and do damage with this like small infantry ball, especially in a team game where you're dealing with potentially a whole bunch of units which are going to be coming your way. In this case, Yellow's Royal Knights, but then also Core is going to have his own infantry army, not going to take this without not going to give it up without any sort of military fight in the Feudal Age. And now we see just a bit of posturing really, but there's not enough here from Gento, and obviously Core's not being able to join the fight yet either, but he is producing. He's got 2 range and barracks producing behind it. The Jav throwers, I assume, yes they are. But there's still a good amount of damage there. Like I said with the Saran Trade Nuke, it's kind of not protecting this one at all. The only thing that's of benefit is that it's between the TC and the Saharian Trade Network, which means units that come across can be a bit safe. Oh, I thought he was sent 10. He sent 16 on this deer pack. Oh, no, that's right. These ones had to run away, I guess, is the reality there. Siphon comes out. And that's going to... oh, my gosh. If that is actually able to get damage on the cows, this is going to be quite a big deal. JD coming across just to look to get the experience. That's quite nice from Jigglypuff. There's every little bit. Actually, let me click on Jiggly so we can see JD's experience in the bottom left. About a third, just over a third at this point, which is pretty good for 10.5 minutes in. Gento is really rallying across, but nothing else. I mean, just how many units Beasty has. So didn't opt to go for the fast cast. Was absolutely able to just trickle in the scaling and be like, well, I'm able to scale up as Byzantine. If Mali was left to do whatever they want, sure, maybe that's bad for us, but we're actually not going to leave them to do whatever they want, and we can take a feudal age fight. And it's looking pretty good for them so far. Obviously, the military count is much higher. The eco count is going to be in Gento and Core's favor for now, but if they can get a lot of these cows killed, that probably won't kill the ranch. The Greek Fire doing a great job in the middle. Nothing in the TC yet. I'm not sure if they're going to get any of these cow kills, but just killing the ranches and getting them out of there is huge nonetheless. Bet they are wishing the Saharian Trade Network could be involved in this fight now, though. It's pretty rough. This one might go down. No, good job from Core to pull. And these are idle villages now too. There's not enough deer here. He's either going to go down or up. There's nothing in between. And if he's not going to garrison this thing is going to go down really fast. What do we have in here? The longbows are sitting in the Siphon. They will die really quickly to this many jabs. That's so many to even overkill. This is 2 groups worth for each of the longbows. But these won't do very much damage to Limitsune at all. But these... Oh, JD goes down. That's pretty rough. But the big fight happens here with the night count looking to be maybe in Gento's favor, but the longbows are getting destroyed. Limitsune not able to get much damage, not many attacks at all, but of course they've got their shields up, which means they do have less attacks, but they don't do nearly as much damage, but they are, if they can get onto the knights, still going to be doing a lot. But the numbers here now are just really in Jigglypuff's and Beastie's favor. However, probably not the composition or the health bars that they would want. With even jabs would probably be able to pick off a bunch of these knights. And I think we do have chivalry coming in. Just took a little bit to get out of combat, but that is actually going to be very beneficial to get all of these back up, because of these healthy knights can take a much better fight against only a handful of Donzos. John gets brought back, half XP, not too bad. Definitely would have liked to see her survive a little bit longer with Jiggly, but not to be, especially playing into javelins with ranged version is just sort of asking for that trouble, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world for him, and I'm sure he will be able to get it up to level 3. But speaking about getting up to, it is the... Where the fuck is it? It is the Golden Horn Tower, which is coming from Beasty. Was able to macro it to castle very cleanly behind this, while by getting a lot of damage done and then being able to walk away. The saving grace on the other side of the map is that this cow boom is basically done, and the almost got the resources in to go castle himself. So the timing for the castle aging players, our Mali and our Byzantine, is not going to be too far off. And there is of course a typical or traditional eco lead for Gento and Core, and with the Mali cows behind it is even better, whereas Jean d'Arc obviously a bit behind French, and I think maybe Jiggly did take some damage. There was a couple, yeah, there was the gold did take some damage early, so that's going to have even more of a scaling effect, that damage. But to be behind 10-11 workers compared to the French player feels pretty bad for JD. There's no amount of consecration, which makes that feel much better. And the Byzantine eco, I mean, it's thriving, don't get me wrong, and being first to castle feels good, but a full Mali cow boom feels so good. And it'll be interesting just to keep an eye on this military count to see, as Core gets castle, whether that starts to grow. This is actually good for Gento. I'm not sure Jigly wants to take this. The concave is much better. And John is exposed. If she goes down this easily, that's awful, and she does. And now Beasty comes across, but that was just that was not a good engagement for Jigly. And John out of position as well. She's much harder to manage because of course she's much slower. You need a runner by herself. So she's not slowing down the knights, but it means because you're using 2 control groups, it's so easy for one to go and one to go the other way. And in this case, yeah, not working out. And she's got so much XP, and honestly, just with a little bit more, if you just keep her around in these fights just a little bit more, she would probably be level 3 or thereabouts, which would be a huge boon in this engagement for sure. We see Core now arriving. Now javelins, particularly the castle age upgrade for javelins, it does make them quite a lot tankier, which is nice, but it's not going to make them kill longbows any faster. They were already doing a perfectly good job of that, as we see already heaps of overkill. And there's many Donzos out there, it's not that many. But we do see the engagement here. The javelins are fighting against the blue knights. The yellow knights are really going to town, but it's on limits today, and you can see them slowly losing their health bars. But it is a fight being won and lost on either front. Gento's knights are hanging in there, and the count of Despairman or limits today is coming down. The jabs are all but cleaned up as Gento tries to bring his knights back to keep them alive. So they can fire away at the longbows. But somehow through all of that, even with all those javelins there, these longbows are still in a huge amount for the Byzantine player. And they're going to come away from this feeling great with all these jabs down low, the count down low. And now it just feels like it's a rout. The limit today with the shield walls up are not going to take basically any damage. There's a little bit of raiding there as Jigly splits off and gets some done. A lot of idle time and kills, which is huge for them. And the military now is absolutely ballooned as which John going to try to come back as well, but it's not particularly looking good for Gento and Core. I wouldn't say dead, and we see like some of the macros slipping there with big wood banks for both Gento and Jigly behind it, our French and JD players, as things sort of stabilize a little bit out of that fight. We see limits a day idling and chasing a bunch of vills as well. It is a very spread out and open map in this case. Hey, we don't even need an equatory with this. French villages are plenty strong. But this open is just so much chance, so much potential for damage to be done. Villagers walk in absolute miles, pilgrimages to get to somewhere where they can gather safely, be it even wood, let alone food or gold on the map. Beasty actually picking up some of those farm bills is quite a big deal, and idling a bunch of them as well. Giving them off gold. Is there any gold for Gento? He says he's got 11 on. Is it here? Got a mining camp looking to be built, but that's not gonna feel particularly good. That's food there. But if you can't produce knights, it's going to be a big problem. Jigly's still very much just reinvesting. There's no desire for either French player, be it variant or not, to touch that castle age at the minute. Although either could, well, I say either, could pull off the gas to go up. Jigly probably in far better position to do that if he chooses. Beasty though, I mean, we've seen this in 1v1s and why not in a 2v2, especially in a situation like this where they can pick their poison, Beasty and Jigly, about what they want to do and where they want to attack and how they take the fight in the game to Gento and Core. In this case, Cataphract Longbow. Already getting a lot of damage on the cows and the eco there. Longbows might actually all go down here if the javelins get a lot done. John goes down instantly again. I mean, you just can't make it against javelins or against Marley. You just simply can't. And then Cataphract's coming through doing so much work against everything here. The Knights and Knights feels even until the Cataphracts join the mix, and they're just almost unkillable, even by the French Royal Knights. And now with longbows being given free reign with only a couple of javelin throwers, they can now do the main DPS. And at this point, there is nothing going on. In fact, Beasty and Jigly have taken an eco lead. After all this, they can run rampant wherever they want. in wherever they want to go, on which a part of the eco they want, be it under the TC on the cows. Maybe they can go in the back. They can fight under the Saharan Trade Network. Everything. And BG is called Beasty and Jigly take game 2. And now, finally, after trying to declare it a couple times already, I think my math is right that with that win, as we have one more game remaining tonight, with that win, Beasty will be our worst team gamer champion, already having 7 map wins, which is now no longer being able to be caught up by, or 6? Doesn't matter. Unable to be caught by Core, who is in second, and then Jigly and Gento behind them again. GG's. I mean, really, really well played. I think that was a lot more of an interesting game from a matchup perspective, and then also I think Himiyama makes for a good one there with sort of the pseudo 1v1s. But yeah, I think Beasty sort of showed off a little bit why he was able to sort of put his stamp on that game yet again, with his teammate Jigly being that sort of, what's a nice way of saying it, like a night bot is what I'm saying. Just make knights and run around for me and I'll win you the game. But yeah, very good job. Core did well on the Marlians to get the Calboom in, as we bring up the draft, to get the Calboom in, but just unable to turn it into the big sort of Zerg horde of Marlian before Jiggly and Beasty were across the map and killing his friend Gento on the other side of Himiyama. I've still got so much of my beer. I've been speaking too much and not been drinking it. All right, the draft is in. The Ubits, Chinese, and French for Core and Gento, and Holy Roman, Sengoku, and Macedonian for Beasty. And we'll see the snipes come in. Oh, Beasty and Jiggly. We'll see the snipes come in shortly. Reminder: this map, the third map, is mega random. Ooh, so French banned out rather than a Ubit, which is interesting, and Sengoku, of course, banned out. Oh, this is much more interesting. Wait, no, it's not. This is still kind of fucked. I mean, it is more interesting, actually. Oh shit, this is super interesting. Okay, if we look at the spawns. Ooh. Okay, so Core and Gento are teammates. So dark blue here on the Chinese, and the Japanese in the far north of the map. And then Beasty on HRE in the yellow on the left, the west. And Jiggly and his Macedonian in the east are on the same team. This actually is wild. I was looking at the water, of which there is no deep sea fish, by the way. So it is impactful, but is not going to be necessarily the end of the world. The only player that doesn't have that fish available to them is Beasty, which is perfect, because I think if Beasty had it like he did in the last game, I think it makes it a little bit of a wash, because better players are able to turn that better eco into more of an advantage. I think that's a fair thing to say. So this feels okay. Fucking hell. So okay, so I was like, Beasty can't go for the water, and he's like the first one to put down a dock. Well, not the first one. Credit to Gento, he's already put one down. But I feel like if this was anyone else in Beasty's position, they wouldn't have put down a dock. But he's like, fuck it. There's water. I'm gonna go put it down. This is actually interesting for a last game of the day. This is a lot more interesting, especially in Beasty's position. He's already won. Beasty is playing only for Jigglypuff's credit. Jigglypuff's fate is in Beasty's hands, and it would be very on brand for Beasty to not throw the game. He wouldn't do that, but to troll a little bit, take it less seriously, to wind up Jiggly, which I hope is kind of what we're going to see. And if not, we might actually just see Beastie's trademark HRE run away with a game and carry Jiggly to victory. I mean, he's gone already for the double Dark Age dock. I mean, does Beastie, do they see this? Do they see everything? He's scouted one player. They haven't seen the other spawn yet. So he knows that he's building this dock within the base of Gento at the very least. They don't know where core is. On the flip side, they are just they have found. They're now just finding Beastie. So now they've found. So both teams are like, okay, this is what's happening. And apparently the players wanted to play Mega Random. So this is what it is, man. This is what they asked for, and this is what they got. Now we see Beastie pulling out all the tricks, walling off one side, knowing Gento's docks up there, it's going to wall that off. Now, I am very interested to see Core not, after scouting, to not gone for a dock here. I assume early feudal he will, but he's still got 2 on gold, which tells me he's not. And this looks more like a typical like pro scouts builds. But I don't think, I mean, I think you have to go for the water. Surely. Because otherwise, I think economically it does not pay off. And he's not going to be able to help Gento out as much either. Who is going to be having to fight up against Beastie. In this case, he's got the... So, we see this a lot in water maps where it's like, if you have a scout plus a villager, you can stop a villager from putting up whenever they want. In this case, looking to get on top of him to stop him from building the blocking wall. And if he gets all these parts, it will go up. I think, yeah, just trying to block it. You send one to fight and one to block, but you don't want to idle both villages. It's a really tough sort of like situation to play with as to what's the best call, what's worth it. Does get that segment down, which is good. And with the scout, actually, the scout can do everything there. And Beastie will lose this villager, and that is a big win for Gento. Gento doesn't even need these villagers to participate. They can go off and do whatever. So Beastie, success in getting that wall up, yes. But not so much in anything more than that. And now it is a case of Gento looking to block things up to survive from a land perspective. And of course with this wall, I mean, Beastie can destroy it, but otherwise his ships aren't going to be able to get through either. It does work both ways. Fucking wild start to the game, man. And it is not Pro Scout, it is Wheelbarrow. Do we have a dock? We've got a wall coming up to protect against. I mean, expecting feudal aggression from Jigly? Are we just it's just for safety? We're just getting walls up while we can get walls up because might not be able to later. Just scouts fighting. Champion scout out now with the horseman from Jigly. So this is the time, yeah, where you're not going to be able to have those vills on the map anywhere. Horseman now onto Gento's gold and actually pushing them back, and there's plenty here to torch. I'm not sure that, I mean, with this little, I don't think there's going to be much to torch down, but if these guys all came across as well, or vice versa, this is quite a lot of value for Jigly on poor Gento, which is kind of the one that they seem to be ganging up on. Core does now go into the water, which I think he absolutely has to. I think Pro Scouts would have been a huge mistake. I thought that's what he was macroing too, typically, but rather far more interesting is we are going to see a Barbican drop. Now, there are 2 golds here, which normally you're like, yeah, I can get both of his golds, but Beastie also does have 2 huge golds over here. But the Barbican drop, nonetheless, is going to be, well, it's going to be great for vision, as well as stopping that gold. So we already have a lot of interesting shit going on. Jigly is actually going to get this down. He's making a junk, but I don't know if that's even going to come out by the time this goes down. Remember, this Champion Scout increases torch damage of units by 25%. I don't know if that would have made the difference. The 25%, they might have died anyway. But that is really impactful. Big win for Jigly and Beastie to be able to prevent that. And Beasty is now sitting on, is it 3 docks? Just 2 docks, but a lot of fishing ships. The eco counts, so total worker count is pretty even. 67 to 69, that is including fishing ships. But I think realistically, if Beasty gets all of his stuff going and his HRE, if he's able to sort of get up to castle age as he wants to, that's going to be really, really, it's going to be in their favor, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And particularly the way that they've succeeded these last 2 games, Beasty and Jigly. It's by Jigly putting on really successful aggression and Beasty being able to just go and take over the game behind it. Yeah, it is going across to that gold now, Beasty. And looks pretty safe, to be honest. Obviously, it is towards Gento's base, but he's got enough problems going on. And Jigly's doing a good job with that Macedonian feudal age. A lot of horsemen using the champions and getting a lot done. A lot of pressure. Beasty, when did he sneak there or just walk past? I guess it was chasing the fishing ships, and these are all just going to die from poor Gento. I mean, Jiggly's attacking them, but this doesn't even matter. even if he kills them or doesn't kill them, they're essentially useless. That damage has already been done. Now Gento trying to get something back, but really, like, I mean, Core is in his position all the way down here. It's so tough for him to be able to like come across and help out against help out to like defend Gento and fight against Jiggly. And now Beasty even coming down here and dealing with the docks. So big too. I think a bit of probably a mistake. Core did have the time to build a gate across, a wall across, and which would have helped protect. Oh shit! I missed all this, but Gento lost so many villages there. The eco count did down 9. Gento has 26 eco. Does he still have some fishing ships? Because that would be idle garbage as well. No, it looks like they are all dead. So he's essentially got nothing. Core is obviously got a bit going on, but he's losing so much of it. He will. It's not, don't get me wrong, he's not going to lose water down here. But Beasty sent very little to get a lot of gain. Archers here from Beasty, which means they're dealing with the Chuganu. So there's very slow moving Chuganu and only Chuganu from Core trying to come up and help out is great, but not going to get a lot done. I wonder if the Barbican was actually better off like being up here, because the gold denial, you know, only went so far. Plus trying to deny against, you know, I mean, against HRE feels kind of good, but he's got no problem sort of staying in feudal and playing this out. And killing Gento basically, but maybe if you could have denied some more eco doing it there, I don't know. It's really hard to say, and like especially when you're playing on mega random, like it's so map spawn dependent. Everything's so strange. Like I'm not gonna criticize any player for trying to get the perfect read on what's such a chaotic, crazy situation. Whether that's a good read or not. Yeah, poor. I mean, he's taking risks now, right? And it's rough. Luckily, putting down a ram, that's good news. I guess all the farmhouses is that juicy of a prospect. They don't continue north to get where all those villages are. If these get found, that's it's. Oh, Jiggly's fucking done it. Oh yeah, I mean this game was. Oh, his castle as well behind it while still getting so much damage done. And this is Gento's army, which is fighting against the water and didn't see. Now Jiggly didn't actually get a lot of kills here. I think this actually might be the only villager that goes down. Although there's a lot of damage over this side as well, but it's a lot of idle time, and particularly you lose that pocket eco. Core trying to do his best. I think if he can't help Gento, he's got to go attack somewhere else to do damage there. And I think, I mean, this is his best chance. This Prela is actually doing a lot of work. What's the upgrade situation? +1 defense, but not attack. Yeah, one but not the other. That's it's really rough. Yeah, so +1. Yeah, no, sorry. It is the same, but oh, even now Jiggly's cavalry coming across, and that's going to get cleaned up as well. It's a respectable try, but I think, I mean, Beasty and Jiggly just did such a much better job of coming together and taking the fight to one of the isolated players, more so than Gento and Core could do, and as a result, they get split up. Jiggly and Beasty have all the control of the map. They took control of the water so economically as well. And there's just sort of no way out, really. What's been most impressive, though, I think, is all the just little parts of just fighting damage here and there. It's been very chaotic, been very all over the map, but the way that they've just, like, Jigly is especially actually being able to get, like, damage everywhere. Even from the fuel age, and now they're adding fucking Madari in. Woo! Although, as I say, is you're going to lose them all? No, the champions do get away. Morning, Simon, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you slept well. But yeah, this is a real tough one to see a way out of. At this point, I mean, the only thing that's... Oh my gosh, Gento trying to relocate all the way to Core's base. I was going to say the only thing potentially is if Core can sort of manage his eco all the way out. There's no wheelbarrow here, is there? All these guys bouncing for 1.12. Yikes. Well, I guess it's not wheelbarrow, is it? It's this thing. Oh, he's in here as well. I wasn't coming to look at. No wheelbarrow. Not even level 1 Japanese wheelbarrow. And then the migrating across the entire map. But yeah, if Core could sort of stabilize and then find a way to put some pressure on, win the water, you know, stop the castle age. But I mean, Jigly's already up. The eco's firing. The military count's all the way up there. I mean, how many Radari are on the field at this point? 9 and more coming. The champions are all out as well. Beasty's going to get pins here with these archers, but even if he loses all of them, it really doesn't matter. Targeting down the boat, which is really good, because he might be able to keep the galley alive if he's ever so lucky. Now, Jigly is literally just sending like a couple of units, whether they were the horsemen or Radari, to sit under that TC of the Japanese and just stop or just idle the entire economy. Is a big middle finger to poor Gento. Christian, good morning, dude. Dude, all the Kiwis are waking up, man. What is it? Oh, it's like 10 a.m. for you. Fair play. Happy Easter. And yeah, cleans all that up. But yeah, I mean, Jigly's been untouched the entire game. I don't think there's been a chance for Gento or Core to go across that way. Core's made an attempt on Beasty, but to not very much avail. And at this point, I mean, the champion's going to go down. Not a big deal. And it's just so much idle time. So much running around. There's no cavalry or anything either. I mean, actually, shit. Core's not seeing this at all while he's fighting, just below, one screen below. And that's, I don't know, 1 million villages going down. All of the... Yeah, and then Core has noticed it. And that's all she wrote. GG. 3-0 for Beasty and Jigly. That is the last of our 9 games. And that is going to be it for Worst Team Gamer. So with this, to confirm the scores, at the end of 9 games, 3 play all 3 series of all the teams mixing up with each other, we have Beasty with 7 map wins and is our champion, taking home, let me find the Wikipedia page, taking home $400 US. In second place, we have Core taking home $300 US. And in third, we have Jigly with 3 map wins. And in fourth is Gento, the poor lad, with 2 map wins. But the good news is both of them will be going home with $200 US. Which sounds like an absolute win to me, to be honest with you. That last game was really fun. The previous 2 mega random games, I'll bring myself back on. I was slouching. Shit. Posture check, guys. Oh. The previous 2 games of mega random were one-sided garbage with the worst map spawns you ever seen in your life. One side getting all the deep sea fishing in the world and the other team getting nothing. That one, having the team split and having the fishing be all over the place, was really fun. So a great way to end it